Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Merry Christmas. Let me say that again. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year 2019 and God's blessings to all. Right now, here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. And a good morning to you. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell. And, of course, our major sponsor, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with all the different tires you need for safe wintertime driving. And, of course, don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My friend.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You better call back in a little bit and share some of your Christmas thoughts and everything, by golly, and I appreciate you doing the pledge. Thank you so much.
Betcha. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everybody. I'm just excited. Today is our Christmas program from here at the ranch, and we're just looking forward to 3 hours of all Christmas. I'm not going to get into politics. I've got one little political story that I'm going to carry, and then I don't want to have any calls about politics today. We're just going to talk about Christmas. Right now, it's time for the weather, brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn, and they're right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. Absolutely, Roger and the crew. Hello, Merry Christmas. They offer the best of rental tools and equipment, so be sure and get a hold of them today. And that's K&R Rental at 678-3122, the number to call, K&R Rental. Here's Gina with the weather.
Looks like we're going to see some more sunshine for today. Here's a look at your weather forecast. Mostly sunny skies is what we're expecting, but it is going to be breezy. Winds out of the east, right around 10 miles an hour, gusts as high as 22 miles an hour, and we're expecting a high of 43. Tonight, clouds are going to be rolling in, bringing along with it a 30% chance of rain and or snow showers after midnight, expecting a low of 30. Tomorrow, chance of rain or snow in the morning, giving way to mostly sunny skies by tomorrow afternoon. High of 40. Winds are going to be consistent out of the west at about 20 miles an hour, gusts as high as 32 miles an hour. For Friday night, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 23. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 34. And then we're expecting possible snow showers for Sunday, Monday, and possible Christmas Day. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Oh, Gina, thank you, and Merry Christmas to K&R Rental. Oh, my goodness, they throw the doors open early in the morning to serve you with all the tools and equipment you need. And Roger wanted me to be sure and let you know how much they appreciate your business, and K&R Rental wishes you and your family a very Merry Christmas and a happy New Year. Thank you. Wow, right now, Merv May, come on in here.
All right. right, it gets the steer calves. They're here to get $1.31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, and 32.
Oh, that's the chant of the world's best doggone auctioneer, Merv May, at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, with sale time today at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock this morning, boys and girls. And the number to call for cattle consignments and sale information, 678-9411. Merv May, Cade Rogge, Lance Udy, the sale that works for you. And what do we got going through the ring today? Well, it looks like the Elison Ranch over there at Holbrook. Good people. 35 head of really good 350 to 400-pound calves. Bradley Carter over to Pingree's bringing in a whole bunch of good 450 head of calves coming in. Butcher cows from the Antelope Hills Dairy, Funk Dairy, Acme Dairy, and sale time at 10 o'clock. Now listen to me. This will be the last sale for 2 weeks. They're going to take off for a couple of weeks and enjoy the holiday season like everybody else. And Burley Livestock Sale Yard will have their next sale after today. That's on January 10th. Don't miss it. And Merv and the whole crew over there at Burley Livestock want to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Right now, Merv, sell those steers.
All right, it gets the steer calves. They're here to get $1.31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, and 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, and 5.5, 5.5, 135, 50, 135, and I selling $1.35. Zeb Bell, get bottom again.
Oh, my goodness, I'll take it. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our program this morning. This morning is our annual Zeb at the Ranch Christmas party, and we'd love to hear all kinds of things about your Christmases, past Christmases, family happenings, everything. So kind of share with us a little bit this morning, and we'd love to get it on the air. I'm going to take care of some business here, and then we'll open up the lines for phone calls. I want to remind you, I had to swallow. My wife, right before the program, it was just the start of the CBS News, gave me a great, big, huge, absolutely, well, the Great White Hunter's back, a great, big, huge, absolutely delicious cinnamon roll. It's funny when I start talking about food, George Mast walks in the door. And it was fantastic. So if I kind of swallow a little bit and maybe burp and slurp, pardon me, it was a great cinnamon roll. Don't forget there's Christmas Eve and communion services at the Rupert United Methodist Church, 605 8th Street. Monday night, Christmas Eve, this coming Monday, December 24th at 6:30 p.m., and the public is invited. Right now, I also want to remind you about our friends over to Ramsey Heating and Electric. I think we're going to be talking to Rita a little bit later on, and she wants to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. Ramsey Heating and Electric, for all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459. They're open at 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. The best. Over 6 decades of serving you, Ramsey Heating and Electric. And all of those great folks, all of them wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. All right, well, get close to that phone. My goodness sakes. Rama of the Jungle has just returned home. You got to really take it out of the stand if you want to, George, and I need you to hold it real close. George Mass, my old friend, emphasis on the word old, just got back from a hunting trip, and did you get anything?
No, we've seen some big bulls and a whole bunch of antelope, but we didn't get them. We're going to go back up 27th till the end of the year.
All right, so you're going to go back up next Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay,
It is,
sounds good. You look like you've been dragged through a keyhole, not much sleep.
Well, you know who I'm married to.
George, there are certain things that are said that I am not going to respond to.
That's a wise move. I ain't that smart yet.
Want to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas, Seb, and Merry Christmas to all your listeners.
You know, you and Donna have been such special friends and everything for years and years and years. And what about this Christmas season? I mean, you've got quite a family too, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And an extended family.
Yeah.
All of our friends. And I'm privileged to get to do the whole.
Oh, I got to have you speak up, George. You're too low. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they get to do Santa Claus, over at your Denny's with you.
Oh, you do a phenomenal job.
That is really the height of Christmas, is putting on Santa's suit.
Yeah.
And going to different families. I got a
Well,
big
now
family.
Thomas that owns Denny's over there is going to be shocked because I told him I had the real Santa coming in.
Well, he was, but this was going to be a helper.
Okay.
But just giving.
Yeah.
You know, giving of yourself is the greatest gift you can give.
We can't tell you how much we appreciate all your giving as for the many, many years. But, wow. Christmas this year, for some reason, George, I don't know if it's my old age. I'm trying to chase you down and catch you. But, man, it means a lot this year. I'm just having a good time getting ready for Christmas.
Well, Zeb, you know, as I've had the opportunity to help Santa out for years, and there's two groups of people that really love Santa, and that's the really young and the really old.
Now, being that you said really old last, and you looked really decisively at me, is there an
Yes.
insinuation there?
No, it is, but I think Christmas brings back the childhood memories as you get older, you know, and just reminiscing.
Before you go anywhere, you got to go out and check the living room. Deanne's got everything decorated the way Mrs. Claus would decorate their house at the North Pole, and she did a really nice job.
It's going to take a while to get out there, so you know those goodies on the counter. And you just can't pass them up.
I was afraid of this. I had mentioned to Deanne yesterday that there was a fear that you might return from hunting early, and I didn't call some of the local transport systems with their semis to deliver more food.
Well, years past been here, and the hospitality and the food has just been wonderful. And the only thing better than the food is the people here.
Well, I got to tell you, speaking of food, if you later on you get hungry, you know the place to go, and that's Denny's Restaurant, and that is America's Diner at 611 North Overland in Burley with Thomas and the whole crew. You got to admit, George, that was phenomenal last Thursday, the way they had the place decorated and all the help dressed up, and it was really a lot of fun.
It was, and the food was good.
Oh, tremendous. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, anytime, all the time with Thomas and Michelle, all the folks over at Denny's Restaurant, right there at 611 North Overland in Burley. I urge you, tired from Christmas shopping later on today, you go on in and get refurbished and refreshed at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley. They are the best at America's Diner. Real quick, I also want to remind you, now, George, have you been doing a lot of hiking and going up one hill and sliding down the other? What have you been doing?
No, we're driving in the pickup.
You're getting smart.
Pickup and four-wheelers and side-by-side.
Well, I was going to say, if you're getting tired from getting out on the hills and trying to track down your big game, don't forget, if you get a little stiff and sore, go to Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. And the number to call to let them help you with the best of exercises and the use of that hydrotherapy pool, 678-1191. The best of physical therapists headed up by Nick Greenwell, and they can and they will help you. Please call the number 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, wishing everybody a great big Merry Christmas.
Besides, Zeb, if I walked top the hill and fell, I'd roll clear to the bottom and have to climb it again. That ain't going to happen.
Where did you grow up, George? Right here in this area?
Yes, and Zeb, if I may, before I get too far into this, I'd like to take a moment and have everybody say a prayer and give thanks to our young men and women that stand and watch. They cannot be home with their family. A lot of them's got kids they haven't seen.
Yep.
And also say a prayer for the families that of those soldiers that's over there, because war's hell on the home front too, you know.
I could not agree more. And there's a lot of people that serve this country and perhaps haven't been home for the last couple of Christmases. And we certainly want to wish them and their families the very, very best, many of which live right here in Magic Valley.
There is, but we need a special thanks and keep them in our prayers.
Absolutely. You know, George, I asked you a moment ago, you grew up here in Magic Valley?
Here in Minnecasia, yes.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. And did your family do anything unique or different? Having you would be unique and different, but unique and different at Christmas time? Maybe a special little, this is Christmas and this is what we do?
Not really, Zeb. I come from a really, really poor family. I don't remember having a Christmas tree at home.
Really?
Yeah, you know, and if we got an apple and orange or something like that, I mean, we was thankful. And so that's, I just, from my past, I just look at what I went through, and I just try to make sure that other people gets more out of it than I got.
So, needless to say, you feel like even though things were a little poor back in the infant or teenage years, you've been blessed recently.
Yes, I have. And,
absolutely.
Not having nothing being poor, your siblings really get close.
Oh, yeah.
And but I'm fortunate now. I'm in a position where I can give to others, and that's when Donna and I got married, she was really into Christmas, and I had an awful hard time with Christmas. Mm-hmm. And she's helped me get over that and getting into giving.
Well, my goodness, there's no question that you give, and I really appreciate everything that you have done. I mean, you've been a stalwart to help us on this program.
Yeah. It's a good cause.
Oh, thank you.
People, good cause.
Thank you. So, George Mass, a very, very dear friend of mine, and calls are welcome. We'd love to hear from you out in the audience, and you can talk to George and I think we got some other people running by too. We did things a little different back in Wisconsin. We tried to dig out of the snow at Christmas time. I don't remember a Christmas back there in Wisconsin growing up that we didn't have to have the assistance of the neighbors to come over, and then my dad, of course, would help others in the area too, to where we had to literally get help getting out of our driveway. We had a long driveway, and from the back of my house until you get to the barn out in the back of the house, it was approximately pretty close to about 50 yards away. And I remember one winter in particular, 3 days before Christmas, that the snow was so deep that my dad and the neighbors had to tunnel to get to my barn.
Yeah, and that's what I remember Christmas years ago. Times changed.
Oh, my.
But I remember I was just a little youngster, 49 and 50, when we got all that snow. And I remember Dad took a team of horses and a sled from out of Shotties, which is about 7 miles west of Burger stop there, and into town to get groceries. Stop by and all the neighbors get a grocery list and come down and get groceries.
Yeah.
And I remember I cried and cried because I couldn't go with him. That's how dumb I was. But I can remember him doing that, and the snow was so tall then. We'd never had that much snow. There's a lot of wind.
Yeah.
And I remember taking the snow, and we'd walk up on top of the house, jump off the other side.
Oh, yeah. And we don't get winters like that here anymore.
No.
But I can honestly remember that. And I can remember the tops of the fence posts were basically all you could see most winters, the very tops. And it took a long time to get that stuff melted, let me tell you that.
It did.
Yeah.
It did, yeah.
Yeah. Good memories. And then, of course, on Christmas Eve, we always went to my grandmother, my mother's mother, and I don't know who started this tradition, but to this day, I'm 71 years old and I can't do it. They used to have oyster stew.
That is good stuff.
You like that stuff?
Oh, boy.
You honestly like chasing that slimy little dude all around the bowl trying to catch him?
Yeah, and they slide down pretty easy.
Oh, I don't like that stuff. I never did. And part of the deal was that we'd have oyster stew, baked beans, and then my grandmother would make a bunch of homemade bread and everything. And I had to eat a bowl. I had to eat a bowl of oyster stew, or my dad would get mad. Now, you can't have any presents up here at Grandma and Grandpa's if you don't eat your oyster stew. Fortunately, my mother kind of halfway agreed with me that if I didn't like it, I didn't have to eat it. So when she filled my bowl, she slid one slimy oyster into my bowl of stew, and I had to at least get that one down. And I'm telling you, that's the only negative thing about Christmas I remember. Everything else I loved, that slimy, no good oyster.
Yeah, but still, looking back on it, childhood, look back on it, you enjoy it, you laugh about it. And
just don't ever invite me over for oyster stew. I'll tell you that. No, there was a lot of good memories. Then we'd go open presents, and normally on Christmas Eve, I don't know why, but I can honestly remember my dad had a Nash. Remember the old Nash Rambler station wagons?
I had one.
You did? Okay, you know what I'm talking about then. They were the ugliest car on the road. They had to be.
There's a good one, though.
What?
They was a good car.
Oh, they were. But we'd go up there, we'd open the presents, and then it would get to be up at my grandma and grandpa's. It'd get to be about 11:30 or so, and we're closed-eyed, ready to go to sleep and everything. And then we'd get all bundled up and have to get outside in the snow. Invariably, it was about maybe at least 3 feet deep. And trudge to the car, get in the car, go home, get undressed, go to bed. I mean, the winters back there just took the effort right out of you.
It did. You put so many clothes on, you can't move, and you tire out real quick.
Yeah. And remember when we were kids, did you ever have those mittens that were tied together with that string?
Yeah.
And they'd run one over your shoulders and the other one. And kids were invariably coming up and grabbing one. Pop, you itch in the forehead or the nose.
Yeah, and those mittens really hard to poke your nose, too, because you take a whole hand.
I remember that. I go to grade school with those, and I hated those things, and somebody always invariably picked those up and pop and hit you in the face with them.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Calls welcome. Please, somebody save us from this memory lane. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Stoats Equipment Company, your John Deere dealer. They're located right there at 119 Overland in Burley, and I'm going to tell you something. They are really people-oriented and serving you. They are your John Deere dealer, and they make your life easier. Stoats Equipment Company with Vic and the whole crew, they, of course, want to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Hey, by the way, George, you know this is true, that during the winter months, a lot of people don't think animals drink as much water in the winter, but they do. They actually drink more during the winter months when it's really cold. So
Not even animals, so just people.
Absolutely. And so I urge everybody to make sure they've got heated water tanks, heated water tubs, and be sure that your animals have plenty of water. Keep them healthy. And if there's a problem, don't forget to call our friends at Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Hayburn. Yes, sirree, Bob. Dr. Bill, well, Dr. Bob's not there, but Dr. Bill is. And Dr. Jordan and everybody else, they wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Number to call, 678-1177. And they do have the warm hearts for the cold noses at Ark Animal Hospital. Did you go to a country school? I did.
We went into Hayburn. We have probably 25, 30 kids.
Speak up a little bit, George, please.
There's about 30 kids in the class.
I see. I went to I'm not ashamed of this at all because I still think I had a great education. So did my parents. I went to a one-room country school for all 8 grades. And some of the kids that are home on vacation are going, holy smokes, he's as old as Abraham Lincoln. But it was a great education. And I had the most wonderful teacher in the world, Mrs. Kiltz, for all 8 years.
Yeah, there's still a one-room school over there at Three Creek there.
Yeah. Yep.
That was by that the other day and looked at it and just kind of smiled, like, geez, how would that be?
Yeah, I know we had them all crammed in there. I can't remember. I think the most that we had in the schoolroom at any one time was like 35, maybe 38 kids from the first grade all the way up to the 8th. And I can remember vividly Mrs. Kiltz would stand up there in the front of the class and she'd say, second graders, come to class. And they'd run up to the front of the school and sit at a table. And then they'd go through the lessons and everything for that particular subject, and then she'd go third graders or fourth graders and then 8th graders, whatever the case might be, every day. And we had the old-fashioned school bell with the rope hanging down inside, and she had to get up from her desk and go ring that bell. And one of the funniest remembrances I ever had from my school years back at Curtis Mill, a guy by the name of Mickey Fredericks, he was a little demon personified. I mean, he was always in trouble. And that bell would go bang, bang, bang. And Mickey climbed up there one day and took the dinger out of the bell. And poor Mrs. Kiltz about had a fit trying to get that son of a gun to ring. And the dinger was in his desk.
Yeah, and good paddling didn't hurt then, but it was worth it.
Oh, Mickey, if it was today, he'd be bruised. He'd be in solitary confinement, probably. He did all kinds of things. But those are good memories from back in those days.
And, Zeb, for the last few years, Donna and I have been doing a Christmas dinner for the Rupert Police Department.
Yeah.
And we've got the roast in the oven, and we're going to feed them tonight. And it's just thanking them for standing out there.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of them that also won't be home. They'll be standing watch over
Absolutely.
Christmas.
We put on a Christmas pageant every year when I was in elementary school. And Mrs. Kiltz, 2 weeks before Christmas, all the studies basically were curtailed, and we started practicing for this pageant. We had little skits, and we had little groups that would sing various carols and everything. Well, they put a stage. Some of the fathers come up and they put a stage in the front of the school, and it was made out of wooden platforms. And we had one kid in our school. I'm not going to mention his last name. If he's still alive, he might try to sue me. But his name was Richard. And he was like in 4th or 5th grade, he was already 6'2.5" to 6'3", and weighed darn near 300 pounds. I mean, this guy. Remember Bill Cosby with the comedy act about Fat Albert?
Yeah.
This was Fat Albert. And I never will forget, the stage was built up. Oh, it was a good 2.5 feet high, okay? And I'll never forget that in one of the Christmas skits, Richard was supposed to be a little kid that was looking forward to the Christmas morning, run out from behind the curtain, jump up and down with glee because Santa Claus had been there. And Richard shot right through the floor, George.
Yeah. And Don and I went to Oakley. They did the Christmas concert.
Yeah.
And that was just awesome. What is discouraging, those little kids, they bust their backside to put on a good show, and a lot of people don't show up.
Oh, I know it. Those are memories that you'll never get again. I mean, I look back fondly with the memories that we had of all the different things, and then I remember that we had a helping Santa one time, and he was going down the aisle, and his pants fell down. That big old black belt didn't help him at all.
That happened to me one time too, Zeb.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I just make sure that they're cinched up good.
I hope you didn't have those Hawaiian shorts on underneath.
No.
Those are. Look up the word ugly in the dictionary, and they're right next to it.
Yeah, and speaking of giving, Zeb, Oakley High School, there's a little boy. He's a 9th grader. Wanted to play a tuba.
Uh-huh.
Oakley School didn't have a tuba.
Nobody wants to play a tuba, do they?
He does.
Okay.
Anyway, he's about to quit band, and Adam Fowler did a fundraiser and raised enough money to get a tuba for him.
I know that kid.
Yeah.
He just had a birthday, if memory serves me right. I think it was Monday.
The 15th.
Yeah.
Or 18th.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, I was really proud of him, but he, and that's given, and of oneself. He spent $60 of his own money to buy everything. But anyway, that's just giving. And when they presented that there, the kid that wanted to play tuba was playing on the drums, and he hated the drums.
Oh, man.
And he smiled from ear to ear.
Did you ever play an instrument?
No.
The only thing I can play is the radio. I'm not very good.
I'm not good at that either.
No, I've said this story before, and I don't mean to run over it again, but my mom demanded that I take piano lessons. And after the 3rd lesson, Mrs. Bendix was my teacher. And she made a very astute deduction that I was not qualified to be a piano player.
Well, that was rude.
Well, I thought it was great. And who else have we got coming? Oh, my goodness, we got somebody else here this morning. Come on in. Come on in. You're not bothering anything. Leave the door open. Come on in. And so anyway, then they went from that, and they thought they would try to get me to play the trumpet. And if you ever played the trumpet where you got to kind of like that and it tickles your lip, And every time I'd start doing that, I'd start giggling, so that didn't work. And then my dad and mother had a revelation that darn near killed me, because I was a fat little kid. They wanted me to take accordion lessons, and that's child abuse, trying to get a fat kid to play the accordion. You don't do that kind of stuff. Dion Sager just walked in, he's got a visual that made him chuckle.
Yeah, well, if we tried to play a trumpet today, we'd spit our teeth out.
Oh, my gosh. I'm going to do a commercial, and we're going to say hello to this guy. George, you can just hand him the mic. You don't have to get up. D, come on over and sit down.
I'm going to run and grab a donut real quick.
One?
Well, maybe two.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Don't forget Dino Septic Service, and believe me, they do the job that you don't want to do. They do the septic tank pumping, and they do the liquid waste removal, and, of course, the water and sewer lines installed, and, oh, my goodness, they clean those lines. Folks, they've recently expanded their business to better serve you. All you need to do is give them a call at 436-6526 or in Burley, 678-1638. Absolutely, they are the best at what they do. Remember the name, give them a call, they will help you. Dino Septic Service, yes, with that big truck that says on the side, smells cargo on the way. Dino Septic Service wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Caller, good morning, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Zeb.
Hi.
May I share a Christmas memory that it's mine, but it isn't mine because I was too young to remember it? I was, pardon me, not quite a year old yet because it was Christmas time and I was born on the 6th of January, so it was Christmas 1947. Dad had come home from World War II a year before, and this was the first apartment my folks had together in Boise. They just moved there in the summer, and they put up their Christmas tree. They knew that I had been born really premature, and I had, they'd found a good eye doctor, and he told them I might have some vision, but he wasn't sure how much. So they put up their Christmas tree, and we had the big light bulbs that are about the size of a nightlight bulb in those days. And all of a sudden, I gave them the first evidence that I had some vision.
Oh, my.
Because I was staring at the Christmas tree lights.
Oh, my. Isn't that wonderful?
I always loved colored lights.
Well, I do, too, as long as they're not behind my vehicle.
Yes. Red and blue behind your vehicle, exactly.
Well, you know, I know you're going to be calling in later on. You have a special song for us, but I want to say basically this hour and next hour, too, Merry Christmas, and God bless you for everything you do for us.
Oh, Zeb, thank you. It is a privilege and an honor to do it, and God bless you and Deanne the same way for all that you do, keeping us informed and giving us chances to be together and do things for the community. It's wonderful.
Well, thank you, Linda.
You and Deanne and all of our wonderful listeners and all the folks in the studio, a blessed and Merry Christmas.
Thank you very, very much. I'll talk to you next hour. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Well, with us now, I just knew that somebody important was coming in the studio a few moments ago because I heard a great big screech of tires, and then I looked through the window and I saw a great big long Cadillac pull in the yard, and with his entourage, and we have with us the mayor of Murtaugh. Good morning, Dion Saker. How are you?
Merry Christmas, Sam. How are you?
Put your feet up off the floor, man. It's getting deep in here.
I can't even talk. I'm loud. Sorry.
I hope somebody kept the motor running. What are you doing for Christmas this year, little boy, that celebrates maybe a little different than most?
You know, I don't know if it's much different than most, but, you know, every year now, for as long as I can remember, the Methodists have had a little church program.
Yeah, right up here, yeah.
Right uptown up here, and it's at 6 o'clock, Christmas Eve, lasts for about an hour. It's a great little program.
I can tell you that for many, 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 many years, we went up to that, and they put forth such a nice effort. It's non-denominational.
Correct.
And it's just absolutely, it's kind of like an old cowboy western Christmas. Everybody, you can kind of envision in the old days they'd pull up in the buckboards or whatever. Well, that's kind of like what this is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everybody comes, and by no means do you ever have to dress up like you're going to church, because you might be out of place, to be right honest with you.
Well, they couldn't keep up with you anyway. I mean, all your suits are custom made over in Italy.
That is not true. But that's a great thing up there, and there's a lot of people that come to that. And years ago, that thing kind of got started in order to help the quick response units out in this area. You remember that?
I do, and I was trying to think, how many years do you think that's been in effect? Because, see, I've lived here since 1992. Does that help you at all?
It's been going on since then.
Yeah, I was going to say it started at or near that time, didn't it?
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah.
In fact, I got on the quick response unit in '92. That was my first year.
Well, see, there you go.
And so that's how that.
That's why you look so old.
That's exactly right. Yes, yes.
It hasn't hurt me a bit.
I still got the vision of you trying to do a accordion, so I'm still trying to get.
Yeah, that's too much information there. I shouldn't have said that. One squawk of that dude, and boy, Mom and Dad said, "We're going to kill him."
But that's what we used to do, and we would get donations. They would give donations out for the quick response unit, and that thing has evolved to the point now where we're kind of self-efficient, and bless the county's heart, they help us immensely with that program now.
But you're still taking donations for it.
Oh, absolutely, because it's mind-boggling the things that we have to have now on board our quick response units in order to go try and help somebody, and the things that they've allowed us to kind of expand our practice on. And so,
well, give me a for instance, because I'm thinking back to '92. I think you had a van. Didn't you?
Yeah.
An old white van that was pretty faded in paint, and I remember some green cross on it or something, right?
Yep, it was green. It was an old 3 on the tree, to be honest with you. And if you didn't make that square shift, why, it would get stuck in between gears, and you'd have to coast to a stop, get out, open the hood.
I remember one time I needed help really bad, and you slid from here to Rockies. No, but things have progressed.
Yeah, immensely.
Yeah.
But along with that, comes the additional costs. Now the new gurneys we have are all hydraulically driven.
Do the gurney wheels, do they still go blah, 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 down the hallways and everything?
Well, not quite as much as they used to.
Pushing a gurney takes a lot of practice. You can go north, but you're actually headed southeast.
That's exactly correct. Yes.
But what if somebody would like to help contribute to the QRU, the quick response units?
They can drop off. They could contact me. They can go to the fire station in Kimberly, and they're welcome to drop off a donation into the fire station there in Kimberly.
We really have been blessed, I would say, since '92, with much better service in the outlying area. You folks have done a tremendous job.
Well, thank you.
I'm serious.
I
ought to know because you've come and packed me out of here quite a few times.
Well, we really take pride in wanting to do the best job we can do. It's unfortunate that nobody needs us till they need us.
Yeah.
And that's an unfortunate thing. But by the same token, there's lots of things that we like to be involved in all the communities to let people know that we care about them.
So now, are you, as the Cadillac driving mayor of Murtaugh, the head of the QRU?
I am the acting president of our QRU,
okay,
and then I have some.
So I can write a check out and bring it to your home, and you can deposit it where it needs to go.
That is correct.
Okay,
yes.
I will do that.
Well, thank you.
I will do that.
Thank you.
And what about Christmas in your family? You got like 573 people coming over?
Well, I think there might only be 571 this year.
No, seriously, you got a big family.
Yeah, and and it's fun. Our tradition is every year we always get together Christmas Eve. Bless my wife's heart, she makes pajamas for all the grandkids every year.
Say what?
Yeah, every year she makes them for all the grandkids. And so
how many grandkids have you got?
18.
Is there enough fabric in twin?
Well, evidently there is, because she gets it done.
Boy, I heard that you had a small fire over there. It was your sewing machine burning up. Holy 18?
Yeah.
Are these the ones with the little footsies and everything?
No, she's done with the footsie stuff.
With the footsie stuff. Okay. Because I hated those things.
Yep.
You get your feet in there, and then, like, if your foot itched or something, how do you scratch it? And I just felt, I just didn't like that. I just like I very seldom ever wear pajamas. That's too much information. I think we'll just go back to what you're doing with your wife on Christmas.
Thank you.
Okay. But 18.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Would you stay here for a minute so I can do the weather forecast?
Absolutely.
All right, hold on. Calls are welcome. Bail us out, folks. Give us a jingle, 436-2244. I'm going to ask you a question I want you to think about, okay? I'm going to ask you a Christmas question. And you being a mayor, you should know the answer to this. How many angels can dance on the head of a pin? Now, you think about that for a minute, and I will give you the answer momentarily. The mayor of Murtaugh's here. Don't forget, of course, we're going to go to the weather forecast real quick, and it's brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids with Dr. Hunsaker, Dr. Pickup, and Dr. Mitchell. Donna, you're coming in and causing trouble. Don't forget, for all your hearing health needs, they can and they will help you. Right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Give them a call, 312-0957. Here's Gino with the weather.
Looks like we're going to see some more sunshine for today. Here's a look at your weather forecast. Mostly sunny skies is what we're expecting, but it is going to be breezy. Winds out of the east, right around 10 miles an hour, gusts as high as 22 miles an hour, and we're expecting a high of 43. Tonight, clouds are going to be rolling in, bringing along with it a 30% chance of rain and or snow showers after midnight, expecting a low of 30. Tomorrow, chance of rain or snow in the morning, giving way to mostly sunny skies by tomorrow afternoon. High of 40. Winds are going to be consistent out of the west at about 20 miles an hour, gusts as high as 32 miles an hour. For Friday night, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 23. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 34. And then we're expecting possible snow showers for Sunday, Monday, and possible Christmas Day. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Oh, you're done. That means Zeb speak. Okay. Here we are. Weather brought to you by our friends at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And they are the best at what they do. Please call them at 312-0957. And they wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Did you get the answer to my question, Mr. Hunsaker?
No, you haven't told me it yet.
Well, no, I said how many angels can dance on the head of a pin?
I heard that.
At Christmas time. Well, the answer is, and I've done a lot of research on this, and I even called a gentleman that knows far more than I do, Joel Heward, over at Hanson Mortuary, and he verified this. Honestly, goodness. He said that nowadays only 4 angels can dance on the head of a pin. Formerly, there was no limit. But OSHA passed the angel safety law, which recently also requires that the pin must be inspected twice each year for structural defects. And that came straight from the horse's mouth or any part of the anatomy, Joel Heward.
Well, you got to trust him because people are dying to see him.
That's a good line. That's an accordion line.
Zeb, I'm going to get out of your hair.
God bless you for coming by.
Hey, thanks.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and Deanne.
And
both.
if we get a chance, I'll bring my cell phone over Christmas morning and see you in your jammies.
Okay.
Oh, that's way too much information. Thank you. Who's next in the hit parade, Donna?
Just take a second.
All right. Good morning, Donna Mass. How are you?
Well, good morning, Mr. Bell. I am doing wonderful. How about you?
Well, it's going to be a long 3 hours if I don't get off that accordion kick, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we was sitting out there, or I was sitting out there with Deanne, and we was listening, just laughing our butts off.
Oh, well, let's pick another, lashing your foot off.
Okay, yeah,
okay.
Tapping our foot, yeah.
Well, George came home, the great white hunter, Romer of the Jungle's back.
Yeah.
Oh, there's depression if I ever saw it. Oh, okay.
It was quiet around the house, but now it's full of festivities.
Well, may I say this to you? You have been such a dear friend for the many years, and you're kind of like that ever-ready bunny on TV. That's the attitude your personality reminds me of. But you're always there when needed, and I thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Well,
we enjoy doing things, and you and Deanne are our best friends for I don't know how many years now.
No, thank you.
And we appreciate everything you do for us and for the community. And it's just nice to be able to get out. Thank God we're in a position that we can do that.
Yeah, and we have proven to the 4 of us at least that it's a lot more fun to give than it is to get.
It definitely is.
There you go.
That's the reason for the season.
Amen. Donna, thanks for coming by.
You betcha.
Appreciate it.
You have a Merry Christmas.
I will, and I hate to be rude, but we might have other people coming. Can you get George away from the smorgasbord? He's still going.
Oh my gosh, he's got another mouthful.
He's got, instead of just a piece of bread, he grabbed the whole hunk.
I'm taking him home. I'm
Good
taking
heavens.
him home, I promise.
Holy moly. There's
Merry
a discount on dog food at the...
Yeah, you mix a little bit of warm water with that.
It really turned, oatmeal.
He doesn't even know.
Thanks, Donna. God bless
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Thank you. We're going to have our next man come in here for a moment, and I want to remind everybody about Barry Equipment and Rental Sales, Service, and Parts, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley with Juan, our old buddy, and 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and the Nampa location. 3 great locations serving you with all the equipment rentals and all the retail equipment sales you need. They've got all the Bobcats. Don't forget Bobcats here, Bobcats there, Bobcats everywhere. You stop in. Don't know how to run one? They'll take you out in the sandbox behind and they'll teach you. Bye, George and Donna. God bless. Don't forget Barry Equipment and Rental, Burley, Twin Falls, and Nampa. Holy cow. Look who we have over here at the studio. And hold that mic really close. I have never, in all the years I've known this man, and I've said this so many times, ever seen him without a great big smile on his face. Do you ever frown? Do you ever get mad? Do you ever want to throw things? Do you ever slam doors?
Well, my kids will attest that I can turn a smile upside down.
Really? I love that. How are you, Joel Heward?
Doing great.
Hanson Mortuary, and this man has been such a kind man for the many years. You do so much for the community.
Well, we just try to be in the community.
You really are.
We love it.
Now, on the 4th of July, I didn't make it over this last year, but you had that big breakfast, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Did you do all the cooking?
Well, it's getting to the point where I have some great people that come and help me. And, anymore, I kind of lay out the recipe.
Really?
And I have some just friends and neighbors that have just stepped in to volunteer and ask if they can be a part of it. And
you
they
don't
just show up to do it.
You don't look like a Chef Boyardee, so looks are deceiving.
Well, the best part of me is underneath this desk.
Yeah, but you do a lot of sampling, don't you? No, but I would have never guessed that you were a cook.
I love to cook, and I'm working on another project.
Another project?
At the moment, yeah.
Can you share with us what it is?
Well, I am actively pursuing building me a chuck wagon.
A chuck wagon?
Literal chuck wagons. I've
now,
got the wagon.
Notice how you piqued my interest.
I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do it.
An old-time chuck wagon?
Exactly.
Like they used on the Texas Trail Drives?
Exactly.
No kidding.
It's a hobby of mine to that old stuff like that, so I'm going to do it.
You've got to keep me informed on that. And what are you going to do? Go around with it? Maybe cook for people?
I don't know if anybody can afford me. It's a lot of work.
Are you going to get one of those triangle dingers where you go ring, ring, ring,
Definitely.
ring, everybody out of your bedroll and all that kind of stuff?
That's going to be the best part of it.
I'll tell you, when it comes to cooking, what's your favorite dish to cook?
Bacon.
Well, no. I mean, after all, did you bring samples?
I did bring a sample, actually. Brought it right in here.
Did you? No, I tell you,
froze yet, but you'll enjoy it later.
Joel, thank you for all you do and your staff, and I just think the world of you folks because you've always been so friendly all the time. I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you for everything that you do, and we're glad to be a part of your program and all your
thank you
efforts. We enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
I've always enjoyed it. I've listened to K-Bar radio since I can remember, growing up as a kid, and and all the different things over the years. But that's just.
And then I came along,
life.
and you thought, "What kind of thing is this?"
Well, I just years ago, I encouraged Larry and everybody to, hey, we need to be a part of this. This is a good deal, and it still continues. So I'm glad they do it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to ask you a question here real quick. I've only got about a minute left before I have to go to the break. But of all the Christmas movies, I'm going to put you on the spot right here real quick. Of all the Christmas movies that have been made, what is your very favorite that you could watch 600 times?
Well, that's easy without a doubt. The Christmas Story with the
little kid?
Yes.
Shooting himself in the eye?
Shooting himself in the eye.
I put it in the top 5, but I didn't put it number 1.
Me and my boys just love to watch that every year.
Really?
My wife can't stand it, but we love to watch it because we all just can't wait for the part where the neighbor's dogs come in and ravage the turkey.
You know what you ought to do, though, if your wife doesn't like that movie? You ought to go someplace and try to order one of those leg lamps. And give it to your wife.
She would probably really like that.
My favorite movie, quickly, I got to tell you, and maybe you know about my personality. Yep, it's the Griswolds Christmas Vacation. I saw it last night again.
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
I mean, there is no way in the world that you can't watch that movie and equate to some of the scenes in that movie happening in your family.
Everybody's can relate to that.
Yeah, putting the lights up and stapling your sleeve, I've done that.
Yeah.
Having some of your relatives, which probably are way at the bottom of the totem pole, yep, we have those, and all that kind of stuff.
Everybody can appreciate the frustration of Christmas lights.
Amen. Joel, I tell you what, I got to go, but thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
And the very best to you, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And thanks for all you do. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a gentleman right there, and that's Joel Heward, and I really appreciate him coming by this morning. And right now I want to remind you about our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with all the tires to get you through the mud, the muck, the ice, the snow, everything for your wintertime driving safety. Don't forget, like I said, all the different tread designs for your cars, pickups, SUVs, everything. You stop in and see them today. And the best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. They've got it all, but the best in service. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Holy cow. We're going to run to the news right now. Running is an oxymoron. I shouldn't have said that. Can't do that. But then we're going to come back. We've got 2 more hours of Christmas wishes. Give us a call. And I'm even going to try to call this next hour, wheels right after the news, my Aunt Miriam back in Wisconsin. So here's the news from CBS. Good morning, and we can't do that. We've got to go Merry Christmas, everybody. I feel like Santa Claus driving the reindeer. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch, and of course our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. This gentleman, and he is, that's been on the air with us the last couple of minutes, Joel Heward with Hanson Mortuary. I just wanted to hold you over so that you could perhaps wish everyone you know in the listening audience a very Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you for that opportunity, and yes, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. All of our families that we've taken care of, and all of my friends and all of my firefighter brothers and just everybody in this great valley, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. It's a special time of year that we get to have once a year that's enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Merry Christmas.
You're a firefighter.
Yes.
I didn't know that. My son is a professional firefighter for the Boise Fire Department.
I did know that.
Sometime we got to visit about that. I have the utmost, and I mean that, underline it and put it in capital letters, utmost respect for what you fellas do.
Well, it is my out. I guess they give more to me than I probably give to them, and I'm thankful I get to be a part of it.
Someday we got to do a program on firefighting because people I don't think have a clue in many respects how dangerous the job is.
It is. They're more and more all the time.
Absolutely.
Things have changed for a lot of them, and
you be sure and get yourself a plate of goodies.
I was waiting until we got up here.
Your eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. Anyway, Joel Heward, God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you, my dear friend. Thank you. Been blessed. Joel Heward, very much on the air. Hanson Mortuary, they've been wonderful, wonderful people. We got to pay some bills here. Oh, that's your chuck wagon? I want to see that when it's done. The great job. Thank you. That's a great inventive idea. Building a chuck wagon. Great. Hey, don't forget Minnecasia Hearts for Seniors. Hello, Holly Rowe. How are you? At 135 East 23rd Drive. And if you're a senior and you want to stay at home, yes, you can. And there's ways that you can get help with meal preparation and maybe light housekeeping or maybe running errands, whatever the case might be. Call Minnecasia Hearts for Seniors. The number, 312-5715. That number again, 312-5715. Holly and the rest of the folks will serve you. Please give them a call. And Minnecasia Hearts for Seniors wants to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. By the way, Joel, I got to do your ad real quick. Go run back in here and I'll have you do the ad. Real fast, it's your time. I forgot. We got to have everybody. You do such a wonderful job. Put the brownies down in the everything and just get over there on the microphone really quick. And we're going to have Joel tell us all about Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Joel Heward, the family, the staff, serving everyone in this area. And I think you want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas again and a Happy New Year, but if needed, you are there to serve them.
Well, let's hope everybody can take a little break during the holiday, because we like a break too.
There you go.
You know, if that need does arise, we're there. We always have somebody, and we want to wish everybody Merry Christmas from Hanson Mortuary and Morrison Payne Funeral Home in Burley, and you know, spend that time with your loved ones, because make those memories, because that's what you'll remember in the end.
Thank you very much. Always upholding the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Very, very professional, nice people at Hanson Mortuary in Rupert with Joel Heward. And he did that. I'm amazed, because I've been in the radio business for over 50 years. I could not eat what you were eating and do a commercial like you did. That was very well done.
That's great banana bread.
Thanks, Joel. Hello, Tony. Come on, sit down there, my dear friend. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I need you to get real close to that microphone. You can take it out of the stand if you want to, and just pull it straight back towards you. There you go. How's Tony Salerno, for heaven's sakes? Oh, you got to hold it real close. Pretend you're kissing Mary. There you go.
Well, we're doing just fine, getting ready for the holidays, you know. And
now, you got your tree up?
oh, yeah, we've had our tree up for a while.
Have you?
It's just a little tiny thing, because we have a cat that if we had a big one there, the thing would just tear it down. So.
It kind of reminds you, you've seen the Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation, haven't you?
What's that?
That movie with Chevy Chase on Christmas Vacation with a cat that gets electrocuted and everything? Oh, well, listen, are you still walking dogs?
Oh, yeah, I get up 4 days a week, pick the dogs up in the morning.
So you pick these dogs up and the car?
Yeah, I get up at about 4:30 in the morning, and I'll have a cup of coffee, and I leave the house about 5:30, and I meet her down at the mall, and I pick the dogs up.
Pick the dogs up.
Take the dogs home.
Take the dogs home.
After work, she just comes back from the hospital and picks the dogs up.
How many dogs are we talking about?
3 Chihuahuas.
3 Chihuahuas? There is nothing more irritating, I think, sometimes than a bunch of Chihuahuas.
Yes.
You're agreeing with me.
We have one that's about, excuse me, have one that's about 17 years old.
Oh, my.
And Mary has to keep taking it and putting it outside and bringing it back. And that's why she didn't come this morning.
I see. So she's, right now, as we're speaking on the radio, Mary is opening the door, closing the door, opening the door, and closing the door, letting the older Chihuahua get outside.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Let me ask you, what's the fascination, and maybe you're a bad person to ask this because you're prejudiced in your viewpoint, but what's the fascination with having those little hairless dogs?
I'm a shepherd guy.
Me too. So, a German shepherd could inhale one of those.
That's right. Yep.
Oh, but
I don't know. I like a man-eater around the house.
Yeah, well, they're not. They're a toenail clipper.
Yeah, noisy.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, when you go to walk these dogs, you put them on 3 separate leashes?
No, we let him out in the backyard.
Oh, I see. I see. So that's what you consider to walking the dog.
Tiptoe around the backyard.
Tiptoe. Boy, your backyard is probably someplace you don't want to run across barefoot.
I keep a shovel and a rake there.
Chihuahuas. Oh, my goodness sakes. And then they go, yip, 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 yip.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the yipping.
They make a decent watchdog, but...
Really? They don't bite anybody. They're just wet on the floor, right?
Oh, that one does, yeah. Okay. Well, that's about 17 years old, so... You know.
I know, but on tile floors, if I walked into your house on crutches, I'd end up on my neck.
You might slide.
Slide a little bit. Oh, Christmas time. Are you all ready for it?
In a way, it's things have changed so much since I was a kid, you know.
Yeah. What did your family do different or maybe unique that you remember the most?
Well, I remember in October, they would go down to the train yard and they would get the cases of grapes, and the whole family would get together.
Oh, grapes.
And they would stop making wine for the holidays.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Your family was into winemaking?
Well, just for the family.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, so was mine. Yeah. My mom and dad really got into that, I'm trying to think some of the wines. They made one, dandelion wine. And
oh, yeah.
That stuff had a kick to it.
It did.
Yeah.
And they would make the red wines, the white wines, and they'd take the second grapes, the second, what would you call it, the pressing of the white wine.
You didn't take your shoes off and stomp the grapes, did you?
They would make grappa.
Grappa.
Yeah, that was like Italian white lightning.
White lightning.
That's about what it was.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Now, I said a minute ago, you didn't take your shoes off and stomp the grapes by foot, did you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. We did it with our shoes on.
I can't quite picture you for as long as I've known you with your pant legs rolled up stomping grapes.
I was just a little kid then, but I never forgot that.
No, and some of that homemade wine, for those out in the audience that have never tasted it or whatever, it could knock you on your back pockets.
Oh, yeah.
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 And when the relatives come over, I had an Aunt Millie. Years and years ago that used to come over all the time at Christmas and spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And she, how do I say this politely? She really liked the wine.
Yeah.
So, she smiled a lot. Oh, my.
Yeah, we used to have some of the police would walk the streets in those days.
Yeah.
You know? And
hold that closer, Tony, please.
Yeah, and we'd just go ahead and we'd see them out there, and we'd have a gallon of wine for them to take home for the holidays, you know. And same thing with the fire department. We'd do things like that for them, and things were so much different then.
And it's too bad, in a lot of respects, that we can't go back there.
Yeah, it is. A lot of the families are just so spread out now. They've left the nest and moved on.
Yeah.
You know, the cities have changed,
but the old-time ways of doing things seem to draw people together closer than what they are today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, Yeah, just society is fractured nowadays.
I think that's a good way to put it, and quite frankly, I don't know if we can ever get it back. I've said on the radio many, many times that the days of the Saturday Evening Post covers of showing mom and dad taking the kids to church on Sunday or sitting around the tree, opening presents on Christmas, whatever. It's a shame to say this, but Joel, take care. But those days are, I think, gone.
Oh, we'll never get him back.
Yeah,
no,
that's a shame.
I think the country is changing drastically now.
Yeah. What did you think of the criticism? I've got to ask you this. What did you think of the criticism? When I heard this, I about fell off the chair this morning, that some on the left are criticizing Donald Trump and his wife Melania for having a picture taken in the hallway of the White House with all the Christmas trees, and they're criticizing them because they're holding hands.
Oh, my God. I tell you.
Isn't this something?
When I see what's going on in the White House nowadays, I'm seeing the same thing that I've seen with General George Custer.
Yeah.
You know, George Custer went to battle, gave up everything, lost his life, and
yeah.
There's nothing that I see really that's worthwhile up there in Washington, D.C. anymore.
I'm really hoping that something can happen good back in Washington, at least in the next 2 years of this administration. But getting back to Christmas again, Tony, you and Mary are very, very special people to Deanne and I, and you call in every day just like clockwork, and we really appreciate having you be a part of our program.
Well, it's important for people to stick together and try to get our politicians off their duffs, a lot of them.
Yeah.
To do something before it's too late.
Amen. Amen. I couldn't agree more.
You know, Custer's last stand.
Yeah. That's
what it is.
This is basically the same.
That's right where we're at right now.
Tony, I got to pay some bills, and then I got some calls to get people on the air and everything. And I know it's a long trek for you to come out here, but you're so appreciated for being here. Please get some goodies out there and enjoy, my friend. God bless you.
I got to watch what I eat.
Okay. Tony, appreciate you. God bless you. Merry Christmas. Thank you, my dear friend. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we got to pay some bills, and we're going to tell everybody about Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Jeff and the crew, they invite you over to Santa's favorite place to shop, and that's Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. And right now, no money down, no interest, up to 48 months on approved credit. Holy moly, you better be there. Get there right now today. All the great selection of sofas and dining room sets, and of course, don't forget all the recliners, and of course, all the carpeting and floor coverings. Everything for you at Santa's favorite place to shop, and that's Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. Wheels, I got a favor of you, old buddy. Could you please try to get my Aunt Miriam on the telephone?
Yes, sir. Give me 1 second, and then I will let her know.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We were talking a little bit ago. We'd love to have you give us a call and share some of your Christmas experiences with us. And we were talking, I think it was to Joel, about Christmas movies and everything. What is your favorite Christmas movie of all time? Now, there's been some dandies. Really dandies like White Christmas with Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye. Wheels, what have you got? Have you got my aunt on the phone?
Yes, sir.
Aunt Miriam, you are live and direct all over the world on my program. This is your favorite nephew. How are you?
Well, I'm doing much better, thank you. I didn't let you know, but I've been having a very bad virus, something. I don't know what it was.
Well, you sound like you sound.
Talk now without coughing, and I know I don't sound the same, but I'm getting there.
Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this is my favorite aunt living back in Wisconsin, back in the cold country. Give us a little weather forecast. What's the weather back there in Wisconsin doing this morning?
Well, right now, it just stopped raining.
Oh.
It's very foggy. It's about 41 in the area of 41. No snow.
This is really unusual for a no snow Wisconsin Christmas.
Well, it's not Christmas yet. Remember that.
Okay, all right. So I'm sure that you're going to be probably going to any one of the relatives' house for Christmas, but I wanted to call you, put you on the air, and let everybody know Deanne and I love you, we appreciate you, and wanted to wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Well, this has been fun. I've been listening to you, and it's just wonderful.
Well,
I think anyway.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling a little bit.
And have a marvelous Christmas also.
Oh, thank you.
With your family.
Oh, thank you, Miriam. And God bless you, and we'll be in touch with you. And by the way, thank you for what I have in my refrigerator. It's half gone.
You what?
I say thank you for what you sent me that's in my refrigerator. It's already half gone.
Oh, is that a hint to send more?
Oh, anytime. Thank you.
Oh, bless you.
God bless you.
You're my bright spot.
We'll let you go, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas to you, yours, and everybody else there. Way out there.
Thank you very much. I love that lady. Thank you, Wheels, for getting my Aunt Miriam on the phone. She is a wonderful, wonderful lady. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Every year, we are asked to do a couple of the favorite Christmas stories and poems that we've gathered up over the last, over 20 years. And I'm going to read one in just a moment that's pretty hard to get through, but it is one of my all-time favorites about a very successful executive and his car. So stand by. I'll get right to you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
You know, Zeb, nowadays, with the attack on Christianity, Christians, Christmas, and there was a time when you and I were young, and our homes were warm, our mothers were responsible and loving, and there's children now that don't even have any idea of what Christmas is about. Their parents aren't getting the job done, they're distracted, they're on their phones, they're self-centered, and you say to yourself, how would a child know what Christmas is when they don't have any idea? You and I know what it was like, and we see it in some respects slipping.
Yeah.
And if we can't allow it to happen, it can't happen.
Well, I agree with everything you said, Randy, and I know you've got a wonderful family, and I've enjoyed having you be a part of our program on occasion whenever you call. And I want to extend to you and yours a very happy and blessed Christmas and a Happy New Year. And don't stop calling, man. We appreciate all your comments.
Certainly, and Merry Christmas. And again, we've just got to reach out and try to help our fellow man and help the children, and may they understand what Christmas is about. May they have a safe and happy home and a Christmas. Thank you so much.
God bless you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. Wheels, I got to ask you to jump on the microphone here real quick. Did we hear at all from Sarah? She's probably in a meeting this morning and didn't get a chance to call.
Yeah, she had called in and everything. She had called in early, actually, and she only had a few minutes, but of course she had to go, and so she hung up. But I'm hoping that she can call back.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to tell everybody that I was very, very impressed with her. She is a wonderful, wonderful lady as the head person of the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, and just doing a wonderful job. And to Sarah and everybody over at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, I want to extend for them Merry Christmas wishes and a blessed Happy New Year from the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. They are wonderful people. We have been waiting to see if we're going to have Stephanie Curtis from the Cassia Regional Hospital here, and your friends, your neighbors, serving you with the best of health care, Cassia Regional Hospital. We had thought she was going to be here on the air, but we're waiting to see if she will be in attendance. Right now, I'll pay some bills real quick and remind everybody about I already did that one. How about Let's Ride? Yep. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. My goodness sakes, they're open Monday through Friday 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 4. Everything, all the snowmobiles, everything right there at Let's Ride. You better believe it. And if you want to have some fun outside, that's the place to go first. And don't forget, too, they got all the snowplows. Yeah, for your ATVs. I know because I bought one. You stop over and see them today. Great accessory department and service department to keep you running. I'm talking about the great, great folks at Let's Ride. Yes, sirree, Bob. Wishing you a Merry Christmas, because this is where the fun is sold. Holy cow, good morning. How are you, my friend? Pull that microphone over real close. Gary Shoresman, my heavens, it's been a long time.
It has.
What have you been doing?
I'm glad that you had this today. It gave me a reason to get out of bed.
Gee, I'm glad I'm worth something. What's going on in Gary Shoresman's world?
Oh, just kind of keeping busy. And
writing more
times
books?
are flying, yeah. I'm working on one that kind of centers around 1920 and when a lot of the, in south central Idaho, when a lot of the dry farm homesteaders from Standrod and Knapp and Black Pine, all Raft River area, all the way up to Kamima, all lost their farms because of drought and rabbits and that kind of good
rabbits.
Mm-hmm, jackrabbits.
Really? Yeah.
So that you lose one crop, and if you're dry farming, you're in trouble.
In trouble, real big trouble.
So anyway, if the rabbits didn't eat the fall crop, they'd eat the spring crop, and then they'd eat the summer crop. But the worst thing that happened at that time was there was a drought that hit really hard in 1920, but it started earlier. And at one point, the canals, or the farmers in the Rupert, Mini-Cassia area, had only 40% of the water in the canals in July, and we're down to 4 days of irrigating rather than 7. Meanwhile, these homesteaders, the wells went dry, or the springs, not their wells so much, but the springs that they had for themselves. Well, then that's all gone, and pasture land is gone. And so I thought, well, what in the world happened to all of those people? Because I'm a grandson of one of those people at Kamima. Well, I found out there's about 14 people that I know that represent 14 families from that whole area. So I'm doing a profile on all of them. It's kind of like, whatever happened to that family? And it's like, well, they're still here.
Kind of a Ralph Edwards approach to this is your life.
Here we are, and Zeb Bell with a great, beautiful buffet.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I get a favor to ask you. Stay here for a few minutes because I want to ask you about Christmas in the older days in just a few minutes. But right now I'm going to check with Wheels. Wheels, do we have Rita Ramsey on the phone over at the studio?
She's calling in.
Calling in right now. You can hear the phone ringing, as a matter of fact. This is one of the greatest people to have on my program, and she's been here for a long... Gary, you can listen on those headsets right there if you'd like to, those black headsets. She's been on our program for a long time, great political analyst, and I appreciate her. Rita Ramsey, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm real good. Thank you.
Well, I tell you what, we're celebrating our Christmas program with a lot of people calling in, a lot of stories, a lot of poems, a lot of everything, and trying to steer away from the negativity of politics today. What about the Ramsey family? Give us a little background as to maybe the Ramseys doing something a little unique at Christmas time.
Oh, we do one thing kind of unique, and I might have shared this before. We aren't going to be doing it this year because we have Grandma in a care facility now, but we'd always go out to Glenn's parents and his mother the last 10 years, have Christmas Eve, and we'd have just a potluck, and we'd have supper, and then we'd have the Christmas story, and the kids would dress up like Joseph and Mary, and we'd have a lamb and a goat and all those things, and the baby Jesus. So we'd read the Christmas story, and then at the very end, we would have a marshmallow war.
A what?
Everybody just throws marshmallows at everybody, and it just turns into a war, and the little kids just think that is the funnest thing.
You know, all of a sudden you went from something very sweet and something very serene, and now you're having destruction of the world with a marshmallow fight.
Yeah, we kind of pick up marshmallows over the year from, some that kind of get hidden and lost. But it's so much fun, and marshmallows don't do any damage. And, you can even throw them at the china cabinet glass, and it just shakes it a little bit and drops to the bottom. And you keep gathering them up and throwing them again, so you recycle them when they're all done. You can tell that they've been mashed a few times and kind of getting a little bit sticky in a place or two. But the kids think that's just one of the funnest things is to have that marshmallow war at Grandma's.
Now, I'm cautious about asking this, but are those same marshmallows the same ones that were used the next day on a green bean casserole?
Well, No.
Okay.
I was going to say we make Rice Krispie treats out of them, but I decided I better not.
Okay. Hey, I got to ask you this, and we're going to stay away mostly from politics today on my Christmas show, but, why in the world can't the media, the press, and the Democrats, why can't they leave Donald and Melania Trump alone? They had a picture taken in front of the hallway at the White House with all the beautiful trees and everything, and they were standing there holding hands, and the left is in an uproar this morning saying that's not natural and they shouldn't have had that picture.
Because they'll do anything that they can. Remember earlier this week when he was having a Christmas party, he hates Christmas because the focus isn't on him, and oh, my heavens, they just want to do anything that will distract any of us from the good stuff, and there's no way they'll give him any credit for anything natural, nice, or good.
I agree with you. Any other activities? Got a whole bunch of family coming into your house for Christmas?
Yeah, both of our daughters and their families always come on for Christmas, and so we kind of get a big kick out of Christmas Day. What I really want to do is encourage anybody who's listening to make sure that they don't miss the opportunity to maybe read the Christmas story out of the New Testament.
Amen.
On Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, so that families remember what the true meaning of Christmas is. Randy just hit on a few minutes ago when he said there's a lot of kids out there that don't have a clue about it, and the only way they're going to know about it is if we teach it. And so it's important that we open up the good book and read what the real good tidings of great joy were, and that was that the Savior Jesus Christ was coming, and he brought the atonement so that we could all repent and go back to live with our Father in heaven in the life after this.
It's almost uncanny that you would say what you said about reading the Christmas story, because right after this break with you and then talking a little bit more to Gary Shorsman, that was the next thing on my list, was to read from Luke chapter 2.
Well, we just can't read it enough and be reminded of what a beautiful story it is, and the events that took place, and there's too many youth out there. Older people like us, we grew up with it, and we were even taught it in school, most of it.
Absolutely.
But the kids don't get any of that anymore, and a lot of parents have shied away from it and don't even teach it to their kids. And it's important that they know what the real story is and why we celebrate Christmas. And the gift is the Savior Jesus Christ and what he brought in his life, an example.
Absolutely. Rita Ramsey, I want to tell you how much I appreciate your friendship and your being on my program every Thursday. And to you and yours, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you, Rita. We appreciate you.
You bet. And Merry Christmas to you and to all those who are listening. Bye.
Thank you very, very much. Great lady right there. Rita Ramsey, thank you very much. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you about Cameron and Siemens Insurance quickly, and then we're going to visit with Gary a little bit more. Don't forget Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. All your life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more with great service to you. They're dedicated and responsive to your needs. Please make an appointment and let them help you. Number to call, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Gary, I want to ask you a little bit about... hi there, how are you folks? Get you on the air. There's my buddy Jimmy. How you doing, buddy? Old-time Christmases, they didn't really have a lot to give, but how were most of the Christmases celebrated that you know, studying the history of this area from years gone by?
Well, it was very simple. They believed that it was the birth of Jesus Christ, and they did celebrate. They've prepared candies and cakes and cookies and breads and all of this for a family feast, and they all looked forward to that, and many times a lot of the gifts were homemade. You got a pair of socks for somebody, or you got but Grandma made them, or your mother made them, or a shirt or a dress for the girls with a different kind of material that they wanted. So there was a little bit of want, and so they took care in what they chose for each other. And sometimes it was just the simplest little thing, like an apple, excuse me, off of the old apple tree, and give it to, your aunt.
Yeah.
And it was appreciated because it was the thought. It was the thought, and kids thought of it. They knew way ahead of time that Santa Claus was coming.
I see. Did they have, back in the latter part of the 1800s into the 1900s, did they have Christmas trees? Did they decorate Christmas trees, etc.?
Started in Germany, really.
Yeah.
But then, our family by that time had already left Russia, known as Germans from Russia. But at 1900, they were wealthy, doing fine and all of this, although a huge part of those Germans had come to America, into the Dakotas.
Right.
But the ones that stayed, everything was fine. But I tell you what, as soon as Russia was given up to Lenin in 1917 and 18, Christmases stopped, and some of those people that were Christians didn't had their houses set on fire, were suspect, and they were starting to put everybody in a column as what their names were and how many children they had and how many cows and this and that. So it was like taking from the rich and giving to the poor routine. But by the worst thing that really happened to those people regarding Christianity and regarding Christmas was in our village. They took, and this is told to me personally by a woman born in 1926 who was there and witnessed it, because everybody in the village was called out to go to the church, and they said, if your preacher and your God can save that steeple, we will let him live, as they knocked it down and shot him.
Oh my goodness sakes.
So that took care of that.
Wow.
And if they celebrated, it had to be behind closed doors, and you didn't dare bake anything because they could smell it and they come in on you. The communists.
Yeah.
It's like Melania and the president holding hands in the White House. They don't want that. They don't like that.
And here we are in the richest, most blessed country in the world, and for some stupid reason, people want to put that asunder.
It's communism.
Yeah.
It's a stupid reason. It's, self-serving.
May I say to you how much I appreciate your friendship over the past years, and thank you for all you do, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Amen and hallelujah, and I kind of like you and Deanne, too.
Well, thank you. Now, there's a plate, or not a plate, there's a wide array of things out there for you to munch on.
On the way over here, I was listening to Joel Heward and George Massian on that buffet. I don't know what's in there now.
You better check and let me know. I'm going to do a little reading right now. Thank you very much, Gary, for coming by. We appreciate you. Luke chapter 2, the real Christmas story. So if you'll allow me, audience, we'll do this going up to the weather. About this time, Caesar Augustus, the Roman emperor, decreed that a census should be taken throughout the nation. Everyone was required to return to his ancestral home for this registration. And because Joseph was a member of the royal line, he had to go to Bethlehem in Judea, King David's ancient home, journeying there from the Galilean village of Nazareth. He took with him Mary, his fiancée, who was obviously pregnant by this time. And while they were there, the time came for her baby to be born, and she gave birth to her first child, a son. She wrapped him in a blanket and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them at the inn. That night some shepherds were in the fields outside the village, guarding their flocks of sheep. Suddenly an angel appeared among them, and the landscape shone bright with the glory of the Lord. They were badly frightened, but the angel reassured them. "Don't be afraid," the angel said. "I bring you the most joyful news ever announced, and it is for everyone. The Savior, yes, the Messiah, the Lord, has been born tonight in Bethlehem. How will you recognize him? You will find a baby wrapped in a blanket, lying in a manger." Suddenly the angel was joined by a vast host of others, the armies of heaven, praising God. "Glory to God in the highest," they sang, "and peace on earth for all those pleasing him." Ladies and gentlemen, the birth of our Savior Jesus Christ. And your calls are welcome this morning, and we would appreciate it right here at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I think while I'm waiting for your calls, I'd like to get a weather forecast in. And the weather, of course, brought to you by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. They've been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years, with the best of tax return preparation, tax planning, retirement planning, bookkeeping services, all of this and so much more. They really care, and they can and they will help you, your family, and your business. Offices in Burley and Rupert, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Looks like we're going to see some more sunshine for today. Here's a look at your weather forecast. Mostly sunny skies is what we're expecting, but it is going to be breezy. Winds out of the east, right around 10 miles an hour, gusts as high as 22 miles an hour, and we're expecting a high of 43. Tonight, clouds are going to be rolling in, bringing along with it a 30% chance of rain and or snow showers after midnight, expecting a low of 30. Tomorrow, chance of rain or snow in the morning, giving way to mostly sunny skies by tomorrow afternoon. High of 40. Winds are going to be consistent out of the west at about 20 miles an hour, gusts as high as 32 miles an hour. For Friday night, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 23. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 34. And then we're expecting possible snow showers for Sunday, Monday, and possible Christmas Day. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina, and brought to everybody by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And believe me, you got to remember it's getting close to the end of the year. And, of course, are your tax records ready for your business? You better check it out, and if you need help, they will help you at Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Oh, my. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Wheels, old buddy, what can I do for you?
Well, I was just going to let you know that Linda had called in to do that song for you that she was going to.
Is she on the line right now?
Yes, sir, she is.
Oh, I can't put that off any longer. The lovely Linda Croft is, I know on the telephone it's not nearly going to sound as good as it does in live person, but this one wonderful lady is a great singer. And Linda, good morning again, and what song are you going to give for us this morning?
Good morning, Zeb. Joy to the World.
Oh, please, take it away if you would. I'll turn it over to you. Thank you.
The Lord is come, let earth receive the King. Let every heart sincere move, and nature sing, and nature sing, and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their souls employ. When field and dawn, for field and pray, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. No more let sin and sorrow grow. In this of the Lord, He comes to make His living soul. For as the mercy falls, for as the mercy falls, for as the mercy falls. The world is truth and grace, and made for the glories of His righteousness, and wonders of His law, and wonders of His law, and wonders of His law.
What a wonderful, wonderful lady and a beautiful voice, as we have known that for a long time. Linda Croft, thank you so much for taking the time to call in. And again, my wife and I and all the Lunch Bunchers, we wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And I wish all of you the very same. Thank you, Zeb.
God bless you, Linda. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. In the studio with me right now, Jimmy Flowers. And Jimmy, I need you to get close to that microphone. Isn't she got a beautiful voice?
Yes,
Oh, I forgot to turn your mic on. There you go. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Well, yes, she does. I just love listening to her.
And she does a great national anthem for us every month at the Lunch Bunch.
I don't know how she has the nerve to do it a cappella like that, though.
Oh, she does a great job. Actually, I've listened to the national anthem at so many different venues and literally thousands and thousands of times at various events that I've announced. And Linda's right up there with the best that can handle all the different peaks and valleys in that song.
No, she don't have to look up to anybody.
That's right. I absolutely agree. How's Jimmy Flowers doing this morning?
I'm getting older and on there.
Well, are you ready for Christmas?
Well, I got a week yet. So.
Okay, well, not quite, not quite.
I don't want to rush too quick.
Are you like one of those last-minute Santa Clauses?
Well, maybe the last couple of hours.
Couple hours. You're like, I never would go shopping. I don't know why I did this to myself. I'd never go shopping until Christmas Eve morning.
That's about the way I work the afternoon.
Well, I didn't push it that far.
Well, you have to hurry then because you don't have as many choices.
Yeah, but are you one of these kind of guys, and I've known you for a long time, that you really go into the business and you study and you search, or are you like me? If the first thing that bumps into your shoulder, you buy it and you get out of the store?
Well, that's one of the advantages to going so late, because usually a lot of stuff's gone and you have to grab what's there. So you can shop pretty fast and still do shopping around.
So you shop by the law of omission. Whatever's gone, great, because I'll take what's left.
That's exactly right.
I love that. Oh, my goodness. So you're all done, maybe, for Christmas.
Well, except for the big one,
Yeah, the big one?
Yeah, the boss.
Oh, the boss.
Yeah, the missus.
You're referring to the Department of Interior.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, I was lucky this year. I went to some places and got her some gifts, and she can't hear this right now. She's in the other room. But I went also with the employ of my daughter and helped.
I used to do that till my daughter moved away.
Well,
now I got to go solo.
There's such a thing as FedEx, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. But you and Frida have been so good to us and supported all our different events and everything. I got to ask you, wasn't that deal at Denny's last week fantastic?
I've never been to a bad one yet, but that was a good one. Seen people kept moving right along, and it was just great.
No, it was. And Thomas and the rest of the staff there were so friendly and so helpful. I really appreciate them.
And that young lady with the guitar that was singing, she's just fabulous.
Ashley Ludlow.
Yes.
And going around, that had to be tough in that kind of a setting.
I had more nerve than I got.
Oh, absolutely. And then Santa Claus was there, too.
Yeah, good old Santa.
He got a ticket. Did you hear about that?
For speeding?
No, his reindeers left a deposit that wasn't a bank deposit outside the bank. So he got ticketed.
Yeah, I heard him say something about having a rake and a broom or something to go around.
Well, he had
with the dogs. Well, he needs to get one for the reindeer.
Yeah, one of the elves was supposed to take care of that, but the elf skipped town. So anyway, Jimmy, may I say this? I got to get into another segment here, but you and your wife, you mean so much to us, and God bless you.
Well, we value your friendship very highly, and just glad to know you, and whenever you do call me and it comes across Zeb Bell, we both get excited. And
well, thank you.
Always glad to hear from you.
Now, we got to keep everything in mind. Next year, 2019, you got a great big car show you're probably going to head up again, right?
Yeah, you never know from one year to the next, whatever God's plans are. And we always seem like we lose a member or two now. The old ones are getting weeded out.
Yeah. But there's nobody that I know in my lifetime that knows as much about cars as you do. Man, you are sharp.
No, there's so many more.
Well, you do a wonderful job.
Well, we appreciate that, and we appreciate your support for the car club.
All right. Jimmy Flowers, his wonderful wife, Frida, they're two very, very wonderful friends of ours, and God bless you. Merry Christmas.
Okay, and everybody that's listened to us, Merry Christmas, and may God bless.
Thank you.
Better New Year.
Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate it. That is a man that his friendship is really valued, and I thank him so much. We didn't do this yesterday, today, but I've got to get it done, and thank you, Jimmy. We've got to tell everybody about if you're hungry and starving to death, boy, do I know a great couple of places to go. Yes, sirree, listen to this. The AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Eggnog shakes, pumpkin shakes. Oh, my goodness, those famous Farmer Brown sandwiches, burgers, and all the fries with the special sauce, shrimp baskets. You're going to love all the food at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. How about Taco Bandito at 2301 Overland in Burley? Oh, my. Oh, my. The pumpkin empanadas. They will knock your socks off delicious. Along with the breakfast burritos and the new pork burritos, everything on the menu is absolutely outstanding at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Well, let's go over to Burgers Etc. They've got 2 locations to serve you while you're Christmas shopping. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And they've got a different soup every day. Bread bowl soups, and they've got the pumpkin shakes and the eggnog shakes. Oh, and by the way, every Sunday at the Burley location, shrimp dinner's only $5.99. You're going to love the food and the people at Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. Last but not least, let's head on over to Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. Oh, my goodness. Hey, you know what? They've got a special idea for you. If you'd like to give a gift certificate to Steve-O's, they've got them ready for you. Great stocking stuffers, along with the delicious buffalo burgers. I don't suggest you put one in the stocking. Eat it. Delicious buffalo burgers, cheesy broccoli spuds, all of this and so much more. Nice people serving you at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. And those are just a few great places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. I got to get this in real quick, and I want to before the hour's up. A young and successful executive was traveling down a neighborhood street, going a bit too fast in his brand new Jaguar. He was watching for kids darting out from between parked cars and slowed down when he thought he saw something. As his car passed, no children appeared. Instead, a brick smashed into the Jag's side door, and he slammed on the brakes and drove the Jag back to the spot where the brick had been thrown. The angry driver jumped out of the car, grabbed the nearest kid, and pushed him up against the parked car, shouting, "What was that all about, and who are you? Just what the heck are you doing? That's a brand new car, and that brick you threw is going to cost a lot of money. Why did you do it?" The young boy was absolutely apologetic. "Please, mister. Please, I'm sorry. I didn't know what else to do. I threw the brick because no one else would stop." With tears dripping down his face and off his chin, the youth pointed to a spot just around a parked car. "It's my brother. He rolled off the curb and fell out of his wheelchair, and I can't lift him up." Now sobbing, the boy asked the stunned executive, "Would you please help me get him back into his wheelchair? He's hurt, and he's too heavy for me." Moved beyond words, the driver tried to swallow the rapidly swelling lump in his throat. He hurriedly lifted the handicapped boy back into the wheelchair, then took out his fancy handkerchief and dabbed at the fresh scrapes and the cuts. A quick look told him everything was going to be okay. "Thank you, and may God bless you," the grateful child told the stranger. Too shook up for words, the man simply watched the boy push his wheelchair-bound brother down the sidewalk toward their home. It was a long, slow walk back to the Jaguar. The damage was very noticeable, but the driver never bothered to repair the dented side door. He kept the dent there to remind him of this message: don't go through life so fast that someone has to throw a brick at you to get your attention. God whispers in our souls and speaks to our hearts. Sometimes when we don't have to listen, we don't have time to listen, He has to throw the brick at us. It's our choice. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We'll be back in 7 minutes. Holy smokes, Merry Christmas, everybody. And Santa Claus just walked in the door. An old emphasis on the word old friend, Charlie Howell, Jerome County Commissioner, just walked in. Make sure he gets some food. He looks like he's starving to death. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to hour number 3 of our Christmas show. And again, our thanks to our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best and the safest of tires for your wintertime driving. Be sure and stop in and see them today. And some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Ladies and gentlemen, this man was walking down the road carrying a knapsack over his back with kind of a Seattle Seahawks stocking cap on. He's one of the last great fans. Randy Wynn, Tires West, how are you, my dear friend?
I'm doing good, Zeb. How are you, bud?
That's a brand new cap.
Yeah, it is.
You had to wear that this morning.
Just for you.
Well, you see my little Green Bay Packers sippy cup there? Yeah.
You got a lot of Lambeau Field here. You got a nice office. You do.
Don't tell my wife that. She is so frustrated. You can't dust this thing because there's so much in it. I got cheese heads here. I got football helmets. I've got everything. Tires West Les Schwab and all the Les Schwab Tire Centers. You folks do so much for the community, and I just wanted to have you on for a few minutes to say thank you right back at you.
No, we appreciate you. Appreciate all the community, too. They've supported our businesses for years and years, so we obviously try to give back to the community, and we appreciate their support.
How do you keep going every day at the speed and rate? Now, I sat there the other day, and I was watching. I was observed. And some of these guys that are over there, I mean, man, they never slow down past the trot. They're going.
Yeah, it's hard, Zeb. It's hard to find good help. But, yeah, when we do, we train them to try to get customers. It's all about customer service.
Right.
I've told you before, people don't. Last thing they want to do is spend time at a tire store sitting around. So we try to get them in and out as quick as we can and get them taken care of. So they're pleased.
Now, there's 7 really great locations of Les Schwab Tire Centers here in the Magic Valley. And overall, how many are there throughout the West?
There's 480 of us, Seb.
Wow.
So we're growing, and they're going into Montana, into Bozeman, Montana, then into Billings, Rock Springs, Wyoming. So we're slowly expanding eastward. So,
do all the Les Schwab Tire Centers, Randy, have the same mantra of service, service, service? I'm really impressed.
Yeah, we try, Zeb. I mean, that's what sets us apart from other competitors. Like I've told you before, my dad always said, everybody sells tires. It's service is what sets you apart. So if you can get people in and out, give them good warranties, make sure they're happy when they leave, they're confident in the work you did. That's the whole mantra of our business.
Absolutely. You know, and all of them are so nice and friendly, and some of them are Seattle Seahawks fans, some aren't.
Hey, we have the Kansas City Chiefs Sunday night. That's a tough game. So
I don't even care who I've got because I'm so far out of it. It doesn't make any difference. Green Bay isn't going to do anything this year.
I looked. You guys play the New York Jets Sunday in New York, so
Jets could be tough.
That could be a tough one.
Could be tough, and you very well could make the playoffs.
Yeah, we got to win a game though. The Chiefs aren't going to be easy. So
no, they got a great young quarterback.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
You and I were discussing real quick at the dealership the other day about another young man that I said to you that they need to watch. Take care, Flowers. God bless. Merry Christmas. And that's that Nick from
the 49ers.
Mullins from the 49ers.
Yeah, they beat the Seahawks in overtime Sunday. Yeah, he's a great player. And, him and Garoppolo next year, they're going to have quite a quarterback battle for
If I were Green Bay, I'd go after that Mullins because, after all, Aaron Rodgers not really young anymore, and I think he resembles a young Brett Favre.
Oh, I agree, Zeb. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of upside, absolutely.
Randy, God bless you, your family, and Merry Christmas. Tell all the guys over at all the Les Schwab Tire Centers how much we appreciate them, and thank you much.
Yeah, we appreciate you too, Zeb, all you do. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
You too, Merry
Christmas. My dear friend, Randy Wynn, thank you much, partner. Thank you very, very much. We're going to pay some bills here real quick, and I'm going to tell everybody, Deanne, if we could have Dr. Shank come on in, I'd appreciate that. And, of course, we have a segment on our program. My goodness, now he's going to spoil the whole day by coming in dressed to the nines. Oh, my goodness. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
Dr. Jim Shank, thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Brought to you by A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And, of course, they bring you Cache County School Days. And this man was nice enough to come by on our Christmas show, and we're going to talk to him in just a minute. Don't forget, for all your last-minute Christmas shopping, stop in. They've got all the great price clothes and the books and the toys and the puzzles, everything, along with the Cherokee scrubs and the shoes. It is a family store at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. Well, Dr. Shank, you've had more than enough time to get your feet wet, dry them off, and how are things going with the Cache County school system? And get real close to that mic, please.
Well, they're going great. We've got some things that we're working towards, and we're moving right along. Hopefully we can talk about those a little bit today.
I had no idea you were so much younger than I am.
Oh.
My goodness, you don't have a gray hair in your head.
Oh, I wish. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Tell us a little bit about the successes that you've noticed. And again, I need you to get real close to that mic. Since you started with Cache County.
Well, some of the successes that we're seeing are some growth in our student assessments that they're taking. Students are doing better on their reading. We have some great results when it comes to graduation rates in our high schools. So there's some things that are just data-wise in student performance that are looking pretty good for us.
Let me ask you, sir, I don't want to phrase this so that I offend too many people, but I'll say it this way. I was offended when I've seen some of the advertisements on television and heard some on radio that portray the image that our children here in the state of Idaho are being educated far, far less than others and are being led off into a wasteland of not enough knowledge. And that offends me because my son and daughter graduated from very small high schools, went on to college, and both have wonderful families and great jobs.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. I've had the great opportunity to work in 2 other different states in the state of Idaho, and I would rank the education that kids receive here just as high as in Washington or Utah, our neighbors. And kids do, the idea is that when they're finished and when they've graduated, do they have the opportunities to make choices in their life so that they be successful? And so if you think about that, most of our students when they leave are engaged in work, they're engaged in the military, they're engaged in college, and they have those types of choices. So it's interesting to me the metric by which people find schools successful or not.
Let me ask you this question. Where did this all start? Where did it come up that it was going to be an advertised campaign to say that our children are less? I mean, where did this all come to a head and why? I mean, what's the purpose of denigrating our education system and making our kids feel like they're not as good?
Well, that's a great question. I have no idea, and I have no idea what the purpose is behind that, other than to say things such as our school systems are failing for whatever reason. And I would counter saying that I think that we're better than we've ever been, and our results show that. We graduate more students from high school than ever in history, and we have the metrics to show that.
With your background in education and seeing things from the perspective of other states before coming here, why? Why did you want to come to Burley, Idaho?
Well, we spent 15 years in Idaho Falls School District. I probably shared that with you in the past. And after I received my superintendent credential, we went and worked in other places. And having experienced that, and I can compare, Idaho is a great place to be. So my wife and I decided to move back, and Cache School District was the opportunity that presented itself. So that's why we're here specifically, but we very much enjoy being in Idaho State. Everything that Idaho is about, we really very much appreciate.
So what about the Cache County school system now under your leadership? What are some of the goals you mentioned when you sat down, some of the good things that you'd like to talk about quickly this morning before I run out of time?
Sure. I'll try to roll through it real fast. The first thing is tonight the school board will consider a bond. So we're taking a look at our facilities, and we're going to ask our public to vote on a bond. So that's going to, some things that we need to address for growth. Mini Cassia is a growing area. There's lots of great things occurring industrially. There's lots of great things, and families come along with that. So we need to have the facilities to be able to teach our kids. The second thing I was hoping to mention is we have a strategic planning process that we're going to initiate here in January. So we want to invite people who want to participate in that, help us guide, develop our strategic plan for the future. You do a 3 to 5 year look on what it is that we want to be about, what types of goals we want to set, the results that we're after in our school system. We want to invite people to participate in that. It's very important.
Doctor, I would assume what you just said is really kind of a head-scratcher. They'll complain sometimes, but when you get people to try to come to a meeting and explain their positions, the chairs are empty, and I really hope people show up.
So do I. People will hear more about it January 10th. We're going to do a Facebook Live type thing where we're going to put information out for people to know how it is that they can participate. They can participate without having to necessarily put themselves in the room. There are other ways to do that, but we want people's input. We want their voices because we want to know what it is that our public thinks about how it is that we're doing, but also what it is that we want our students to be able to know and do.
Do you think that there's enough of a advertisement campaign or promotion campaign to really let the people within the Cassia County school system know how good you are and what great people you have working there?
Well, that's part of the strategic planning process, our communication structure and how it is that we talk about what it is that we're doing, how it is that we talk about the results that we're getting so people are aware. Sometimes we just don't do enough of that. We don't do enough about talking about the successes that we have. How many of our kids are involved in something post-high school that they can point to? It's not always about college.
Oh, boy, amen.
Not everybody wants to go to school.
Yep. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. And you do have the luxury, I think, of one of the greatest ladies working in your district, and that's Debbie Critchfield. She does a wonderful, wonderful job.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But what about the rest of the school year? I'm assuming most of your schools are out right now on Christmas vacation, right?
They're getting ready to. Tomorrow is our last day before break, and then we'll be out till the 7th. So they got a couple of weeks to enjoy the Christmas holidays, and we like that. We want our kids to engage in that.
Anything you want to mention and highlight before I let you go this morning?
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity, always, Zeb, to be able to come onto your program and talk about our school system. You're a voice that's important to us, and the people that listen to your program are patrons of our school district, and we want to make sure that they feel that they're appreciated for what they do.
I got to tell you, of all the people that I've had on representing Cassia County schools, I'm impressed and absolutely taken aback by the knowledge, the friendliness, the wanting to strive for bigger and better in the future. All your folks, you should be very proud.
We are. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And please come back and see us either on the phone or right here in person.
All right, we'll do.
The door's always open. Now, have you partaken of the chow line?
I have, and it's quite a buffet you got out there.
Okay. God bless you, and thank you, Dr. Schenk, for being here this morning.
And you too, Zeb.
God bless. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much. Very nice man with Cassia County School System, and I'm very happy to have him on the program. Thank you. And, of course, that's brought to you by A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, our major sponsor. Thank you. A great family shopping store right there in Burley, A Child's World. Thank you much. Oh, my goodness sakes. Let's see. Deanne, who have we got next? We'll call somebody. My poor wife is out there running around trying to make sure we get everybody on the radio this morning. And I just want to say right now, thank you to Gina Jameson. Thank you to Scotty. Thank you to my itty-bitty buddy Wheels and Chris Dixon, everybody over there that helps make our program really go every morning. here he is. My goodness sakes. Normally we see him on the air with something to do with Jerome County as one of the Jerome County Commissioners. Charlie Howell, my buddy, good morning.
Good morning and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
Haven't seen you for a long time.
Well, they're running me ragged from one meeting to the next, or they are making me work once in a while. So.
Well, yeah, but now you have an electrical business.
That's true, and that's kind of, I have a service call in Murtaugh that I came over to do, and so I moved it to Thursday so I could, when I heard that this was your celebration day, so, yeah.
So, be honest, Charlie, we've been friends for a long time. You heard there was going to be free food.
Well, I knew there was. I didn't hear that one, but I knew there was going to be free food, and the cinnamon rolls are delicious. Whoever brought those. She
brought me one before the program started this morning, and I'll tell you what, those are. You could founder on those.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
absolutely good.
Yep.
What's going on in Charlie's world?
Oh, just trying to still keep team roping, and I hope you got that message at practice this Saturday.
I'm going to try to make it this Christmas season. I hope you're doing something between Christmas and New Year's so that I can be there.
I don't know. They made me run the practice last week, and we had like 8 or 9 people, but I don't know what they're going to have.
I'm going to try to get over there if I can. And But besides team roping, you're probably like I am, planning in about 30 days or so to go to warmer climes.
That's my intentions. Yeah, my boss works at St. Luke's, and they're reorganizing a little bit, so that has kind of affected her job description, and so we're just kind of hanging around for that. And then, we have 2 new incoming county commissioners, and their installation is on the 14th, and so I feel obligated to, make sure and get them up and running and do a few things like that. So,
Charlie, I got to ask you, how long have you been a county commissioner over there?
14 years.
14 years. What has been the biggest change in Jerome County as far as your perspective in the 14 years you've been there?
Well, I think the industry and the population is growing. The subdivisions, they keep telling us we're running out of housing tracts and things like that to put new houses up. They'd rather build in twin. They get a better return on their investment. But gosh, we're expanding businesses and a couple of new subdivisions coming into Jerome, and so it's. I think that's the biggest one I've seen is the influx of people.
Are you at a position over in Jerome County, Charlie, where whether it's ag or whether it's a business, you're kind of up against the wall as to where to go with growth?
Not really. We're going to have our final hearing discussion / on our comprehensive plan on the 31st. That's been a 5 or 6 year process to get that rewritten, and it really didn't change that much, but you got to update it and change a few words in here and there to make it better fit and things like that. But no, we've got plenty of room to expand and things like that, so we are looking for more industry. We'd like to have another cheese plant or something like that, and the city's ahead enough on their sewer plant that they can take another wet industry, as they call it. So yeah, very, very optimistic.
Well, what about Charlie Howell? You're getting a little long in the tooth like I am.
That's true.
How long are you going to burn the candle at both ends without getting burned?
Well, you get burned every day. It's kind of funny because I got the phone call yesterday. Well, Twin Falls County is giving their employees a paid day off of Christmas Eve. Why isn't Jerome County doing that? Well, I can't make that decision on my own. That's a board decision, and so when do you do those? So yeah, it burns it at both ends, but it's always fun when you bump into one person and they say you're doing a good job, or they compliment you on whatever. And
that makes you feel good. That's almost worth a pay raise,
absolutely,
right there.
Absolutely, yeah. You can have 10 people get after you for something, and one person compliments you, and that makes your day.
I had that same circumstance happen yesterday. We had to run out of here right after the program yesterday for some appointments. Phone rang, and a gentleman, I had no clue who he is. I still don't know. And he said, I want to say something to you, Mr. Bell. And I said, yes, sir. And I thought, here comes a real big complaint. And he says, I wanted to thank you for the time and effort that you put into getting all these national guests on your program. Yeah. Yesterday we had Dr. Jerome Corsi that's been involved with the Mueller investigation and everything. And it takes a lot of extra work and time to get these people solidified to where they'll come on the program. But that made me feel good.
Good.
Really good. Yeah. So I know what you mean.
Outside perspective is always important. It's not that we want to change our lifestyle, because we all say that. You're welcome to move here, just don't change our lifestyle.
Amen. Best way to say it. Well, Charlie, needless to say, knowing you for 35, 40 years, I don't have to steer you towards the chow line, but thank you for coming by.
Well, I appreciate the time, and Merry Christmas to everybody out there. We appreciate all the input, and I think my last probably comment would be go Pat go, even though our season's not doing that well.
Go Pat go.
Green Bay Packers.
I know, but They have gone. They're way over the hill this year, buddy.
I know. There's always next year, as we always say.
But I tell you what, I think if they go and start now planning about some of their weak positions, which are 11 of them this year, maybe we'll have a better team next year.
You need the guys in the trenches to do the work, and I appreciate all the employees at the county that do that for us to make us look good. So
hopefully we'll see you Saturday and a lot more in the future, because my horse is all ready to go. I'm ready to go. It's just that we have to find the time to get there.
I agree. Yep.
Charlie Howell, Jerome County Commissioner, and a dear friend. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, Charlie. God bless. Thank you. There's one of the great guys right there, and I really mean that. Charlie Howell, thank you so much. Let's see. Hi there. How are you folks? Deanne, who's next coming in? Oh, good. Got to get Doug. Hi, Eddie. We got a whole bunch of people here this morning, and we appreciate it. God bless. Doug Martin, my old friend. Doug, let me see where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing here real quick. Doug Martin with Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair, and a dear friend. Doug, I'm going to read this. Everybody asks me to do this once a year. And then I'll have you comment, and then we'll send it over to the station for a hard break and come back. How's that? This may take just a moment, so everybody stand by. It's called The Legend of the Little Donkey. There are many Christmas legends, and this is one of them, about the little donkey Mary rode to Bethlehem. In his haste to start their journey, Joseph bought what he could find, and he led it from the market, never knowing it was blind. As they traveled all the morning and the sun had risen high, Joseph said they should rest beneath the trees nearby. He dropped the rope the donkey wore and lifted Mary down, but the little donkey stumbled on a rock upon the ground. And Joseph, looking closer, passed his hand before his eyes of the frightened little donkey, but his heart could not despise the animal's infirmity, remembering that he at a steady gait had borne the weight of Mary very patiently. He gently took the donkey's rope and led him neath the shade, where Mary sat upon a little blanket that she had made. She softly whispered to him, and he seemed to understand, and he edged a little closer as he nibbled at her hand. And the one small one never faltered through each long and weary mile, and Joseph led him carefully, for Mary was with child. And he held his head up proudly, with frequent joyous sighs, for his heart saw what he could not with his sightless little eyes. And drawing near the city, a weary Joseph found no room except a stable on the outskirts of the town. So they shared it with the oxen and made a bed of hay, so Mary and her newborn child could rest throughout the day. And the little donkey stood against the old rough stable wall, contented just to listen to angel songs and all. When suddenly, about him, there appeared a wondrous light that fell across his rough brown coat and blazed across the night. And raising up his blessed hand, the child smiled tenderly, and the little donkey staggered back, amazed, for he could see. There are many Christmas legends, and this is one of them. They say it really happened long ago in Bethlehem. Doug Martin.
That was a great story.
I get kind of bushy-eyed and everything else talking about that. And how's my friend?
I'm doing fine. Yourself?
I'm doing great. We're going to take a quick call and then go to the break and have you back on. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Quickly, go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Bell. I was in such a hurry to get out of there this morning. I forgot to remind everybody to thank our veterans, think of our veterans that are away from home, and wish them a Merry Christmas. And our first responders, our police department, our fire department, our ambulance drivers, and EMT, hope they have a safe and a very Merry Christmas.
God bless you, Donna, and you have given the message, and it was well received. Thank you so much. Merry, Merry Christmas.
Merry Merry Christmas, Zeb.
Thank you. Wonderful people, Doug, that live here in this valley. I'm telling you, we're blessed.
We are blessed. I wouldn't want to live anyplace else. I've been around the country quite a bit when I was trucking years ago, and this is one of the best spots in the
You were
USA.
pushing those 18-wheelers down the road, huh?
Yeah, for quite a few years.
Quite a few years. I want to ask you about that when we come back from the break. About, were you ever away from home on Christmas?
Yes.
Let's talk about that in just a minute. Right now, Wheels, we're going to send it back over to you for this quick break at the bottom of the hour. We'll be right back with more Zeb at the Ranch.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Wow, we've had so many nice people come by, and this is one of them. Doug Martin has been a long time dear friend of this program, and you mentioned before we went to the break that you used to be a professional truck driver all over the country. What was it like? And I can equate to this because I've spent quite a few Christmases away from home, but what was it like for a truck driver when you're hauling all over the United States and you end up like in Jacksonville, Florida?
Well, or Pennsylvania. I mean, if you're there over the holidays like Thanksgiving or Christmas, it's sad, but yet the truck stops that I was at, most of them really tried to make you feel at home.
Really?
Oh, yeah, they had good Thanksgiving dinners or have good Christmas dinners. And
wow.
And when I was doing that, I would pick one person out that was sitting by themselves, and I'd call the waitress over and I'd say, I want to pay it forward. I want to pay for their meal.
Oh, my.
And if they want to pay it forward, they can pick another table out and pay for their meal.
Oh, how nice. But, you know, in my circumstances, I missed about 3 or 4 Christmases. And I was away, and I never will forget the first one I celebrated here when I came to southern Idaho back in 1969. And my mother sent me a little tree just like that that's on the edge of this table. And I put that up in that apartment I had, and I'm not ashamed to admit, I bawled like a baby. I wanted to go home.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember, when I was younger, I grew up around here, and I remember was married to a gal, and our first Christmas, we were broke.
Yeah.
I mean, we were like using Suave shampoo and Roman noodles. And so,
what's wrong with those products?
Yeah. So we went out, and I got a tumbleweed.
I did that once, too.
And sprayed it.
Yeah.
I flocked it.
Yeah.
And put one string of lights on it.
And they're pretty.
It was.
Yeah.
It was really neat. I got her one gift. She got me one gift.
They're pretty when you're cheap.
Yeah. And the gift she got me was an 8-track tape player to put in the car.
Oh, the 8 tracks. Out in the barn, not in the barn, in the garage, I've got boxes. I wonder if they'll ever come back. I'd sure like to hear that music again.
I would too.
Oh, man. Are you all ready for Christmas?
Yes, sir.
Really?
My wife is very efficient. I have no idea what we got everybody. But
No. You're passing the buck. You mean to tell me you didn't go Christmas shopping? Why was there a hesitation there?
Well, I haven't gone for my wife yet.
Oh, and do you know what you're going to get?
Oh, yeah.
It was really funny the other day. We were in town, and we go together almost every day. And I said, I'm going to drop you off, and you do the shopping you want to, and then I'm going to go do some shopping. So I did that. But I'm not ashamed to admit it, and it's the honest truth, that when I go into a store of any size, big or small, the first thing that I bump into is the thing I buy. And I just don't like to shop.
And it's usually right at the door. They're discounted it. They need to sell it.
Oh, yeah.
Because they couldn't sell it.
And I'll say to myself, does that look good or would look good on? Yeah, buy it. 39,000 people said, no, I don't want it, but I'm the one that did.
Yeah.
I just don't like to shop. I'm sorry. I wasn't made that way.
No. The only place I like to shop is like Cabela's, Sportsman's Warehouse.
Yeah, and that's being selfish, I know. I do the same thing. Either that or if, like, I'm at a tack store, for horse equipment, bits and bridles and that kind of stuff. And when it comes to going into a store, primarily a store designed for females and the sale of goods to females, I am like a fish out of water. That's where I am.
Yeah.
And the great movie that I think sums up Christmas is Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase. That is everything that's ever happened to us in our family.
Oh, yeah. That's great. We watched it the other night.
It was on last night.
Yeah, and I just laughed.
I laugh every time I see it because everybody's got an Eddie, a cousin Eddie.
Or two.
Or two or three, yeah. So, Doug, I want to tell you how much you've been so supportive of our program and our lunch bunch and just everything we do. Deanne and I can't ever tell you thank you enough for you and your wife and your efforts. Thank you and Merry Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas to you, and you do it every day, every 4 days a week for me. You pay me back every day with the honest truth and the facts.
Thank you. I mentioned a moment ago during the break, and I don't think Doug's heard this, but we've got a poem that we do every year at Christmas time. Would you like to stay here and listen to it?
Yeah, I'll sit here and listen.
Good. It's called The Last Christmas Ride. I wrote this poem about 2003, and it's become kind of a stalwart. I always get people saying, are you going to do that poem again this year? Well, yeah, I am, and here it goes. The old cowboy pulled on his weathered boots and tugged at his hat. He grabbed an old bulky grain sack and gave his horse a pat. The wind was a-howlin' and the snow was falling fast. He knew he'd better get started 'cause this Christmas would be his last. The doctors in the city had given him all the bad news. He had the villain cancer. It was bad, according to their views. But ride he would one last time to spread some Christmas cheer. The crunch of the snow, the cold of the night, he loved this time of year. He'd leave his gifts on ranch house porches and silently retreat. And just before stepping in the saddle, he fed old Gray a carrot to eat. 2 more ranches to spread some joy on this cold Christmas Eve. Boy, he sure was going to miss playing Santa as he wiped a tear on his sleeve. They trudged along in the winter storm when all at once a flash of light. "Whoa!" he yelled as old Gray bogged his head and tried to run in fright. 3 angels sat a horseback on steeds just as white as snow. They told the old cowboy, "Follow us." He knew it was his time to go. The old cowboy felt at ease as he touched a spur to old Gray's flanks. "I know it, Lord. I appreciate the good times," as he closed his eyes with thanks. But lo! The angels stopped and dropped the reins and looked him in the eyes. "You'll not ride with us at this time," he heard to his surprise. "Go and spread the Christmas cheer for many years to come. Good folks like you are hard to find." The old cowboy, well, he felt numb. He watched them as they rode past the star and around the Milky Way. What wonders had he seen tonight on the eve of the world's greatest day? He shifted in the saddle and suddenly realized there was no more pain. The Lord had gifted him with healing. His joyous tears fell like rain. And every Christmas Eve for years, the old cowboy would ride for others' joy and thank the Lord in heaven for sending Jesus, his wonderful little boy.
Wow. That's great. And he can do that.
Absolutely.
The Lord can heal you.
Want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, and we're hurrying to get everything in before the end of the program, but knowing you've got a nose for goodies, and the child line is next for Doug Martin.
No, I hit it first.
Oh, you did.
And I rid you of all those sugar cookies so you wouldn't have to eat them when you were done.
You know, honestly, this is great to do this program and everything and host it, and I love it dearly, but everybody's out there enjoying all the goodies that my wife has put forth. Except me. Except me. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you,
Bless
Doug
you.
Martin.
And
Appreciate it.
God bless everybody out there, and have a Merry Christmas.
Doug's alternator and starter repair over in Hayburn, and he is just one great guy. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Holy moly. Let's get a weather forecast on here really quick, and the weather brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657, or you can go to scarrowsmeats.com and check out all the delicious meats. They've got all the delicious holiday hams, and they got special meat gift boxes for you to give people. Oh, this is great. You're going to love it. All the meats from Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. And right now, here comes Gina with the weather.
Looks like we're going to see some more sunshine for today. Here's a look at your weather forecast. Mostly sunny skies is what we're expecting, but it is going to be breezy. Winds out of the east, right around 10 miles an hour, gusts as high as 22 miles an hour, and we're expecting a high of 43. Tonight, clouds are going to be rolling in, bringing along with it a 30% chance of rain and or snow showers after midnight, expecting a low of 30. Tomorrow, chance of rain or snow in the morning, giving way to mostly sunny skies by tomorrow afternoon. High of 40. Winds are going to be consistent out of the west at about 20 miles an hour, gusts as high as 32 miles an hour. For Friday night, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 23. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 34. And then we're expecting possible snow showers for Sunday, Monday, and possible Christmas Day. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you very much, Gina. And, of course, the weather brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, and the telephone number, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time, and they wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Eddie Donagle, my buddy, how are you?
Very well.
My goodness, thank you for stopping by. Are you all ready for Christmas?
Yes. I'm one of those guys that shops year-round.
Really?
Yes, so my presents start from January to December, from January to December.
You love to go shopping, huh?
I do. I love to go shopping. I take my wife, and sometimes she's standing holding the cart. I'm off visiting with people.
What are you doing to the rest of the male race by telling everybody you like to shop? What's the matter with you?
Because that's where you go and meet people.
You love people.
I love people. I love to visit with them. And sometimes I go up to people and say, hey, I know you. And I don't know them, but I think I do. And then I get to know them.
You know, I have a real problem being that I've been in the public eye all these years. Mm-hmm. And not only with the radio and the television, and then also my announcing rodeos all over the country. And I can't even tell you the amount of times, whether it's in Topeka, Kansas, or whether it's in Los Angeles, or whether it's in St. Petersburg, Florida, people come up, oh, Zeb, how are you? I remember you 20 years ago, and all this kind of. I have a hard time trying to remember all the names.
True.
Yeah.
And same as me. You know, I have people come up and say, I remember you. But I don't remember them, but they said, I've seen you, I watched you, I know what you do for a living. Makes me feel good.
Absolutely.
I just love people.
Do you have a large family that you're going to get together with at Christmas time?
Well, no, I have 7 kids, and we've already had that. We had it on Sunday.
Oh, you did?
Last Sunday.
Okay.
And I got one daughter that lives in Lewiston with her family. The rest of them are right here in Rupert and Twin Falls.
Wow.
So we did have a family Christmas party.
Anything special or unique that the Donagles do that other people might go, that's interesting?
No, we just get together and we play some games and have something to eat. And I always have 3 or 4 games that I just make up.
You make up games?
You bet. I just make them up. We have drawings. We have auctions. We have things with numbers. We put puzzles together. And I have all kinds of prizes because, see, I do all my shopping.
There we go with the shopping again.
And getting to that, just like this Green Bay Packer.
I love
guy.
That. I love that. It's kind of a, what would you call it, an oversized sippy cup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of.
I love
and
that.
you can put whatever you want in it.
Yeah.
But I've had it for about 6 months, and when I seen it, I thought Zeb Bell needs that.
Well, that stays right on my counter right there where you're sitting. I mean, that takes a prized possession right there. It's too bad Green... Well, okay, by the
Yes.
way, I got to back up a little bit.
Yeah, it's too bad.
You cleaned my plow last week in Chicago. The Bears really beat the Packers.
Yep. And just maybe 1985 was their Super Bowl win.
Yep.
It's been a long time. Just maybe I'll be able to watch Super Bowl this year.
You know, speaking of the Bears quickly, the old Bears team, you don't think I know a lot about the Bears, but I'll tell you, Jim McMahon, Refrigerator Perry, all of those guys, they were, at that time, the most unique, different football team in the NFL.
True.
They really were.
True.
I mean, they had some personalities that if it were today, they might be in jail.
That's true. And old William Perry did score a touchdown.
Yeah, 70. What was his number? 76.
I can't remember.
I think so.
Number.
The Fridge. Yeah, he scored a touchdown.
The Fridge.
But you know, and Mike Ditka. Yeah. And there was a lot of different personalities on that team.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've been a Bear fan clear back to Sayers, Gail Sayers.
Well, I got to tell you,
in the 60s.
I will never be a Bears fan. Ever.
And I'll never be a Packers fan.
I know you won't, but we'll still be friends.
You betcha.
Okay.
And I did bring you a card.
Oh, what do you got? Oh, number 35.
And that guy played for the Packers in 92.
Didn't he go, Bryce Pop, didn't he get traded to the Buffalo Bills?
Yes. And on the card, it shows him in the Green Bay Packer uniform, but underneath it says Buffalo Bills.
I don't think that the Packers, are going to be really good for the next couple of years. They've got some problems.
Well, you know, they got to rebuild.
Yeah. Well, it's going to take a lot of mortar and cement.
But anyway, I'm happy, and I'm glad that your Packers aren't doing too good. For once, I can be on top.
You're way on top with the Chicago Bears. They got a great young quarterback with that Trubisky and everything. And what about you and your wife now? Where are you headed today?
We're just going to go up to Twin since we're halfway there.
Yeah.
And then turn around, go back. And then we're taking some gifts over to a young lady with some children tonight.
It's a great time of the year, isn't it?
And we have some gifts for them. And
great.
I have lots of gifts, and I'm going to be delivering them in the next few days.
I love to do this stuff anonymously. You know what I mean? I like to give things and not ever have any. They turn around, and they go, "Well, who gave that to us?" I like to do that.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you ever left like a bunch of Christmas presents on somebody's porch?
No, I haven't.
It's fun. And then call them on the telephone, and then tell them, go out on your front porch, Santa Claus just left.
Yeah, I usually just knock on the door, give it to them.
Well, I got to tell you this funny story. Years ago, we had a guy, myself and two other guys, we wanted to provide some Christmas gifts to some people, and we wanted to do it anonymously. Mm-hmm. So this one guy dressed up as Santa Claus. And he was up on the porch doing that. Well, the dog was loose, and it was not a friendly dog. And Santa lost the south end of his Santa Claus costume going over the fence. I'll tell you that. But those are memories I'll never forget. I love Christmas.
Yes, I love Christmas, too.
Well, I want to thank you and your wife for coming by.
And thank you. And we had a cinnamon roll and visit with Deanne, and we're happy that, you let us come and see you.
Oh, for heaven's sake, you're welcome anytime, and thank you so much, and I wish to you and yours a very Merry Christmas.
And to you, Zeb, and Deanne, and your family.
Thank you,
Merry
I appreciate
Christmas,
it. Thank you.
And many, many more.
Thank you, God bless you.
Thank you.
I'm going to wrap things up here, and you can go have another donut on me.
Wonderful.
All right, thank you. Great guy, Eddie Donegal and his lovely wife for coming by. I thank him much. Wow, what a day. And I want to thank you, the listeners. Here's what I want to say before we go away this morning. I am blessed on this program with all the sponsors and the advertisers. I mean, holy cow, we got the cream of the crop. And I'm so blessed with all the guests that we have on the air and the people that work for me back in Washington, D.C. and New York City, helping me get all our guests on our program. But above all, you can't have a talk show And you can't run it efficiently without great listeners. And you folks are the best. Thank you. Thank you for all you do to support this program, and I really, really mean that. You know, if you can do anything over the next couple of days to help someone or create more of a Christmas spirit or do something nice for someone, do it. It is the Christmas season, and all of us here are so blessed. Wheels, would you mind trying real quick that number for Joe Palermo? I'd really appreciate that, and see if we can get an answer.
Yes, sir. I can do that.
I appreciate it. While you're doing that, I'm going to do a quick commercial. And, of course, it's about our dear friends at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best in tires and the best in front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this and so much more. Don't hit the roadways in the snow and the bad weather without having the tires that'll get you through safely. And they have all of them at all 7 locations. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. He was here earlier this morning. Absolutely 7 great locations serving you, so stop in and see them today. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, absolutely the best. Let's check with Wheels and see if we've got an answer there for us. No answer yet, Wheels? Now, you might be on the line with them right now. The person I'm trying to get is an old college buddy that we went to college together, and I absolutely have the utmost respect for him. Very seldom ever get a chance to talk to him. We send emails and letters occasionally, but we're talking 50 years ago, and he lives back in on the East Coast, and we're trying to reach him right now. Wheels, did we get him?
No, for some reason it goes straight to voicemail, but
okay.
I'm going to, within the next 30 minutes, or 30 seconds to a minute, I'm going to try to call him back and see if...
I'll tell you what I'd rather have you do real quick, and I'll tell Joe that we tried to call. If you tried to call my son on his cell phone real quick, I want to wish Jake a very Merry Christmas, and you've got that number there, too. Would you mind trying that?
Yes, sir, I can do that.
I appreciate it. Folks, it's been fun again, where we've had this Christmas program on the air. And I'll tell you a little bit about what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. Deanna and I are going to take, I think, a little well-deserved vacation away from the program, kind of get regenerated. And we're going to have next week off between Christmas and New Year's, and then come back on January 2nd. And to all of our advertisers, all of our sponsors and everything, thank you so much. And we'll see you in the new year 2019. Let's see if Wheels has my son on the line. Is he there, Wheels?
Just give me one moment, sir. It's ringing.
Okay. It might ring for quite a while if he's on duty up at the fire department right now. We're calling him on his cell phone, and he may be out on a call, and that's the risk that we take. My daughter was supposed to come down this morning and go on the air with us, and evidently she got tied up someplace. And so we're trying to get a hold of Jake real quick. What about it, Wheels? Did it go to voicemail?
It's still ringing, and it went to the voicemail.
All right.
So I'm just going to leave one.
Well, all right. Well, I'll tell you what. You take care of that. And what we're going to do right now is extend to you, your families, everyone, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless each and every one of you. And Wheels, if you would, a little Christmas music to take us up to the news from CBS. And on behalf of Deanna and I, God bless you all. And remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be. And at this Christmas time, the world needs more cowboys. God bless you, and you have a blessed holiday season.